57%. Chapter 321. Coming to Chufu City again. I stayed at the inn in Zhoushan County. After a while, the county magistrate came to visit. Huakai asked Yu Jun to receive him, but he did not show up. Now, for such a small county magistrate, Huakai asked Yu Jun to receive him on his behalf. Face to the other party. On the next day, the 11 members of the Hua family passed by outside Wahiapu and did not stop to enter the fort to rest. Huakai would definitely be shocked to return to Wahiapu. They went south in secret this time. After passing Guangxian all the way to the south, not many people from the Dashan Hua family rode their horses quickly. Arriving outside Chufu city of Lu State in the evening, Huakai thought about it and decided to enter the Lu Palace to take a look. Lu State is a big grain-producing country. Compared with the whole Qi State, the grain output is a little bit much. If you can get some grain from Lu State, then it's better. The wild beasts outside Chufu gathered far away from the city wall. Huakai and other 11 people easily crossed the wild beasts and came outside the Chufu city wall. Taking advantage of the night, Huakai sensed that there was no one inside the city wall, and several people crossed the wall and entered the outer city of Chufu. Chufu city is still lively. As the world's strongest second-rank country, Lu State, even if it does not exist above the foundation building level, its strength is also above the Chinese family. A few people came to the outer city to find the best inn to live in. Early the next morning, Huakai came to King Lu's palace and asked the guards to inform King Lu that it was an old visitor. The Lu family and the Hua family, as relatives, are also one of the most important allies. When King Lu heard Gong Wei's introduction to Huakai's appearance, he hurriedly ended the political affairs and went to the palace gate to greet him in person. Patriarch Hua is here, and the king has missed a long way to welcome him. I don't know why I didn't send people to inform in advance that the whole city of Chufu will welcome Patriarch Hua's arrival. King Lu was very surprised when he saw that it was Huakai. The Chinese New Year would be in 3 days. He didn't know what Huakai would do in Lu at this time. The Hua family is now in charge of Jialiu County alone. Although the name belongs to the Qi State, everyone knows that the Hua family has the same independent sovereignty as the Lu State. Heavy snow on the grasslands in winter has caused severe damage to livestock in Jialiu County, and increased consumption of food and grass. I thought about Nangguo to see if there is any grain to buy. When passing by Chufu City, I came to see the situation in Luguo. Huakai said. As allies of the Hua family and the Lu State, they should have more contact and move around. In the past few years, the Lu family has also developed rapidly because of the Hua family's medicine pill. Although the Lu family cannot completely suppress the passing of the other 2 third-rank families, the regime is now better than before. Much more stable. Although the Hua family has moved, our 2 families are close to each other. I don't know how my daughter is doing now. I heard from her that she gave birth to twins. Lu Wang said. My 5th aunt gave birth to twins in September this year. The 2 little brothers are very healthy. After a period of time, Jialiu Chung stabilizes, I will let my uncle take my 5th aunt and 2 little brothers back to Lu to visit relatives. Huakai rode. That's good. King Lu heard the rare smiles on the faces of his 2 grandsons. Huakai followed King Lu to the palace study. King Lu asked all the maids and guards to retreat. Only then did he talk to Huakai about food. In the 3 years of severe drought, thanks to the help of the Hua family, hundreds of thousands of people in the Lu family will not starve to death. This is why the strength of the Lu family has been consolidated. The favor of the Lu family in the Hua family cannot be overstated. But in the past few years, Lu family, although the country has a bumper harvest every year, the treasury's grain has not increased. Many times I have to prepare with other families in Lu to prevent the people from going hungry. Wang Lu said with a sad expression. Oh, why is this? Huakai puzzled. You know the grievances between Kong Zisheng and Lu Kingdom, right? Lu Wang said. As the first person in 100 schools of scholars, Kong Zisheng's life experience has been studied by all the students. It should be said that among all the classics written by Kong Zisheng, the most resentful one is the king of the state of Lu. He condemned all his depression. As King Lu did not know people, the kingdom of Lu prospered because of the Confucian sage, but it also declined because of the Confucian family. Because of Kong Zisheng, all the aristocratic families of the Lu family are very wary of the Lu family. Most of the rights of the Lu family are divided by them, and all the obligations of the state belong to the Lu family. Land was scarce in the Lu country, so they said that the Lu family should build water conservancy projects. As a result, all voices in the country were talking about the Lu family's failure to preside over water conservancy projects, and the people would be ignored. The Lu family began to build water conservancy under pressure. Those aristocratic families began to say that the Lu family worked, and the people felt that the Lu family would always be exploiters, and those aristocratic families were their protectors. Don't you know that the fertile fields that were built into the canal have been in the hands of the family, and the common people can only be tenants for the family? Quote. As King Lu spoke, Hua Kai listened quietly. Every country in this world has different customs, different ideas for governing the country, and different priorities for rights. What Lu Guo now carries is not the pressure of the family and the people, but Kong Zisheng, an existence above the gold core realm or even the god realm. The country of Lu cultivated about 4 million mu of land, but the real control of the Lu family was only 700,000 acres. The number of poor people living on the hunger line in Lu was more and more every year. We need the relief of other families in Lu to make Lu. Not too many people will starve to death. When King Lu said this, Hua Kai already understood that the fifth ant, the king of Lu, was really upset, and the Confucius Zisheng attributed all the country's problems to the king. As a result, there are reasons for all the families. All the good things are indispensable to them, and the bad things are all attributed to the Lu family. The Lu family is in charge of the poorest people in the country. When these people are talented, they will be the first to join other families and then fight against the Lu family. No wonder the Lu family occupying such a favorable position in the Central Plains. The sense of existence as a second-rank family is not as good as some third-rank families. This is really hard for you. Kong Zisheng. Even if he is still alive, he will not be able to add the grievances of his ancestors to you. After all, it is just those who use Kong Zisheng's words to attack the Lu family, ignorant people. Solving the Lu family problem. Actually, there is a way. Hua Kai said in silence for a while. Which way? King Lu widened his eyes. The ancestors of the Lu family did unfairly on Kong Zisheng. Back then, the Lu family fled to Qi, and Kong Zisheng took care of him. In the end, he was betrayed and fled back to Lu alone. Later, Kong Ji Saint was promoted to the foundation building level. Not only did the Lu family not reuse it, but instead forced him to become enemies with the Lu family. A road to self-improvement, a road to help. Hua Kai said, and Wang Lu came over and listened quietly. In the final analysis, the family competed in strength. The Lu family is the master of the Lu family no matter what. This is incomparable to other families. And the family members are targeting the Lu family only for their own benefit. If the Lu family can become stronger, to give benefits to some aristocratic families and drive out all the voices of opposition, then the influence of Kong Zisheng is no longer important. How difficult it is to be able to impress the interests of aristocratic families. If it's just a few small families, it would be nice to say that there are more than 100 families in the Lu family. How can the Lu family win in? Wang Lu asked puzzledly. It's definitely not possible to rely on the Lu family alone, but isn't there still a Chinese family? One reason the Hua family is so anxious to find food is that the food in Jialiu County is really tight, and another reason is that the Hua family needs to buy some high-level panacea. Heavenly and mortal treasures, special strange stones. Hua Kai looked at King Lu and said. Then what can the Hua family exchange for? Wang Lu asked. High-level elixir, special strange stones, heavenly and mortal treasures, which are not the treasures of the great family, are often the key to supporting their family's continuity. If the Hua family wants to exchange these things, they can pay more than money. Artifact, medicine pill, if someone needs to upgrade the family mind and martial skill, I can guarantee the upgrade. Hua Kai said lightly. How many artifacts are there? What level? What level of medicine pill? You can actually upgrade cultivation technique. King Lu opened his eyes wide. For artifacts above tier 6, medicine pill is not limited to Fan Dan and Bao Dan, but also Ling Dan and Shou Dan. It takes half a year to upgrade the cultivation technique. Hua Kai said. In this world, there are people who specialize in cultivation technique modification. Masters of cultivation technique with the Ascension cultivation technique level are hard to find for 100 years. How many families Ascension family cultivation technique can only explore by themselves? I don't know how many family members were seriously injured and perished by practicing Qi deviation. It really deserves to be the best student in Jixia Academy for thousands of years. Unfortunately, this king is just a daughter of Jila. King Lu exclaimed. Hua Kai couldn't help but smile. I can stay in the palace of Lu for a while. You can first contact the family with a good relationship. What kind of divine armament? what medicine pill, or upgrading the mind and martial skill, as long as the reward is enough, these are all no problem. The king has never taken advantage of divine armament. I don't know what the price is for a divine armament used in the late stage of the foundation building. King Lu asked. 38 rank elixir, or 37 rank elixir, or you can send the strange stone from the palace. Huakai returned to the inn in the afternoon after arriving at the palace of King Lu. When he came back, he took the letter of introduction written by King Lu. He has a good relationship with the second-ranked countries such as Song, Zheng, Shu, and Zhou Leguo. He introduced him. It will be easier for Wahia to buy food. You Jun, you take the two to Song State. When you arrive in Song State, you will see King Song. Buy as much grain and grass as possible. The price is a little higher and it's fine. Set up a granary and wait for me to come. The Central Plains area should still be able to collect some grain. We accumulate more food. If the world is in chaos in the future, there will be many things we can do. Shui Pan, you go to Zheng country. Tang Lei, you go to Shu country. Hua Peng, you go to state and country. There should be a lot of food accumulated by the major families in the Lu kingdom. Many of their families have high-level elixir and strange stones. I see if I can collect some. In any case, I can go to you within 10 days. Then you will treat the granary according to mine. The requirements are set up. When I come, we will put in the Baoguang glass bottle, and then we will go to Wuyu. Hua Kai arranged for everyone. In the evening, Huakai refined a treasure weapon level 9 rank Qingyao sword according to King Lu's requirements. Many scribes in the country like to use swords. This sword can withstand any true qi below the gold core level and has attributes. It belongs to water, just suitable for King Lu. After refining this sword, Hua Kai took out a mysterious mind method and martial skill, which was given to him by King Lu. He needs 10 days to get started, and then ascension it to above the ground level. It was King Lu's temptation to him, but if martial skill and mind method were really ascension, King Lu should have paid nothing less, and the background of Lu Kingdom was not comparable to ordinary families. 57%. Chapter 322. On the 29th of the 12th lunar month, there is only one day left before the new year. Hua Kai came to the Lu Palace early in the morning, and Lu Wang was waiting for himself in the study room alone. Patriarch Hua is here. How are things going? I have asked the maid to arrange the palace for you. Then you will live in the palace and don't show up easily. Wang Lu said to Hua Kai. This is the water attribute sword you want. No one below the gold core level can cause any damage to it. It has the effect of increasing the water will and at the same time has the ability to resist mental attacks. Hua Kai said, taking it from the portable space. Out Qing Yao Jian. King Lu took the sword and loved it. He tried to slowly inject true qi. The sword radiated a little dazzling light, but the light disappeared in an instant. The foundation building's grasp of true qi has reached a nuanced level, and Wang Lu just tried a little to know the quality of this sword. Huakai now no longer has to worry about leaking the secrets of the portable space, because all Shantian realms who understand the power of will can use the spirit to open up a space belonging to the own will, but it takes a long time for the space to increase in size. 10 years of work hardly used that space. It's a sword, and it's not much worse than the divine armament used in the gold core state. I didn't expect that the Hua family could have such a sword. I used a 8,000-year hibiscus ginseng, an 8-class elixir, 4 flavors and 7 elixir, and a piece of Luling treasure rock for you to change. King Lu said to Hua Kai, playing with the sword in his hand. This top-level sword is enough to make King Lu's combat power reach the peak of foundation building. Generally, foundation building Zochin is not necessarily his opponent. And the value of a top-level treasure weapon is much more precious than ordinary low-level spirit treasures, and the value of these treasures given by King Lu has exceeded the value of the Qingyao sword. Yes, it will take a while to complete the martial skill and mind method you want to upgrade. I'm staying at the Lu Palace these few days. If you need divine armament or Bao Dan, you can bring treasures to me. I can only be here at most. Stay for 10 days, Hua Kai said to King Lu. King Lu confirmed that Huakai could really provide a treasure weapon, no matter how the other party's treasure weapon came from. This was a big opportunity for the Lu family. The Lu family can not only turn the accumulation of nearly 1,000 years into real strength, but also help some families who are loyal to the Lu family, and some families that have always maintained neutrality can also be attracted. It is necessary to know that a mortal soldier can become the inheritance treasure of the 6th rank family, and it really has the opportunity to obtain high rank weapons. Which family does not seize the opportunity? Hua Kai was taken to a courtyard of the Lu Palace. The courtyard was 5 acres in size, and there were hundreds of maids in it. In the afternoon, King Lu sent someone to bring the treasures. Farong ginseng is one of the most common high-level life medicines. It can be refined to make Ling Dan Farong Dan, which can increase lifespan for 30 years after taking it, and slow down the appearance of aging, and its effect is more powerful than Bai Shou Dan. The 5-flavored high-quality elixir is the main medicine for refining the elixir, and you can refine the elixir only by looking for the auxiliary medicine. The last Luling treasure rock is the favorite high-grade forging material of practitioners. This Qingyao sword exchanged for Huakai's pill refining and forging materials, which is more than 6 times more valuable than Qingyao sword. Huakai sent all the elixir and life medicine back to the family secret realm space, and sent Luling treasure rock into the portable space. Enter the family space and ask if Grandpa Yu Jun and others have left him any news. In the afternoon, King Lu came to the palace where Huakai lived. He brought more than 200 elixir of 5th rank and above, as well as more than 60 strange forging stones, but the most common meteorites of these strange stones accounted for the vast majority. Patriarch Hua, this is the accumulation of the Lu family for many years. It is feasible to replace 2 divine armaments used by Shantian realm Zochan, and 6 Shantian mid-grade divine armaments. Wang Lu asked. Hua Kai didn't believe that the Lu family had accumulated these things for thousands of years. He checked all the elixir and strange stones and found that they were all very well preserved. You can exchange 10 more early-stage divine armaments in Shantian realm. You can calculate what type of divine armament is needed. Finally, you can explain the user cultivation base, the martial skill you practice, and whether you understand the will of heaven and earth. Does King Lu need Baodin? I can make a list for you. Hua Kai said. That's great. Today I have contacted a few good families, saying that the Lu family knows a grand great master. You can contact the Lu family if you need divine armament, medicine pill, and cultivation technique upgrade. All you need to do is to complete a Shantian divine armament, let them know whether this is true or not, they will certainly not let go of this opportunity to own divine armament. What do you think of this? Wang Lu asked Huakai. King Lu also tried his best not to let everyone know about the existence of the Hua family. This would increase the prestige of the Lu family and also protect the Hua family. After all, the Hua family does not exist in the foundation building environment. If the family above the 3rd rank knows, the Hua family may be in trouble. At this time, the Hua family told the Lu family secrets. One was because the Lu family was an ally of the Hua family recognized by the system. Opponents, otherwise it would be a big crime for the prairie people to enter the country. Everyone still doesn't know that in addition to Jialiu City and Leopard Jade Pass, the Hua family has also built Huacheng. In the end, even if the Hua family is in trouble in the Gold Core realm, he can still hide in the family secret realm space at this time. If you don't use the strength of the family secret realm ascension, when the Shishong rises up, the Hua family may really be submerged in the torrent of history. After King Lu left these elixir and strange stones, he returned to the palace and wrote a detailed list. Hua Kai also saw that although the Lu family is a 2nd-rank family, except for the 8th floor of the foundation building, the rest of the people in the Shantian state. It is not much different from the Hua family. At night, King Lu came again. This time he sent more than 300 5th-rank elixir. Many families in Chufu knew that the Lu family had come to a grand great master, who could not only forge divine armament of various levels, but also pill refining, upgrading the cultivation technique, so the family who befriended him are willing to try it. Forging weapons is easy for Huakai, as long as the family luck value is enough, just put in the materials. After Huakai forging Qingyao sword spent more than 9,000 family luck points, he now has more than 9,000 family luck points, enough for these tier 6 forged weapons. On the 2nd day, Huakai had forged all the weapons and handed them over to him when King Lu arrived at noon. Patriarch Hua, I really suspect that you have discovered an ancient sword grave. It took more than 20 divine armaments a day, and every piece of forging is flawless. Today I bring a Lu family collection for thousands of years. In exchange for the life medicine that can increase the lifespan of more than 50 years and a spirit pill that helps the breakthrough foundation building realm, the side effects should not be too great. Wang Lu said as he took out a small mahogany box from his arms. Hua Kai watched King Lu open the box cautiously, and the two of them were surrounded by a faint barrier of wool of water. This was King Lu's prevention of detection by a Gold Core realm master. This is. Hua Kai looked at the other party and took out a dried fruit, which looked like a holy maiden fruit that had lost its moisture. This is Zuguo. It is said that taking a single one can make a fairy fruit for foundation building. There has been no genius worthy of taking this fruit in the Lu family for thousands of years. Dan, add a spirit pill for the breakthrough foundation building. Wang Lu asked. Huakai checked this vermilion fruit and found that it had no full vermilion fruit effect because it had been left for too long. The system evaluated it as a 9-grade elixir, which was already very rare. This is the first time Huakai has seen the 9-rank elixir, which is capable of refining the elixir. However, the elixir generally requires nearly 1,000 kinds of elixir, and most of them require the elixir of the 6th rank or higher. The difficulty can be imagined. And no. This is Zhu Guo, but there is very little that has been lost. I can give you 2 longevity pills that increase life expectancy by 30 years. After taking it, the content will remain the same for 100 years, and I will give you another Xuanbing pill, have a chance to comprehend Frost Will. Huakai thought for a while and said, okay, tomorrow I will send their custom-made weapons to the family. More and more people are willing to order weapons. This year, a family has asked me if the elixir and strange stones are not enough, can I use gold instead? I told them that the exchange of grain can be settled at a 10% premium. If they know that someone has already got the divine armament, more and more people will be exchanging it. Wang Lu said to Huakai. Well, just look at this, don't forget the granary transformation I said, you can come to get medicine pill tomorrow. Huakai said. When King Lu left, Huakai did not return to the palace where he lived. He was learning the martial skill and mind method that King Lu gave him in the garden. Only when he reached the entry level, could he upgrade the cultivation technique, and he could still comprehend other mental methods and martial skill once more, which is also very important for him. In the evening, the mind method finally got started, but Huakai still couldn't get the idea of getting started with that set of profound sword technique. He entered the dream view idea sleeping space. He practiced hundreds of times before he felt the sword technique's power. A trace of the essence, but it is still far from getting started. After waking up and entering the family secret realm space, Huakai listened to reports from Yu Jun, Tang Lei and others. They had already contacted Song, Zheng, Zhoulai, and Xu Guo. The other party looked at King Lu's face and was willing to sell some give food to the Hua family. Zheng Guo is willing to sell 400,000 shi of grain, and the other 2 countries are also ranging from 100,000 shi to 200,000 shi. For an agricultural medium-sized country, these grains are nothing to them, but in the eyes of the Chinese family, this is already very good. Since the negotiations with Zheng Guo and Song Guo are so fast, Yu Jun, you take the 2 to Wu Guo, Shui Pan, you take the 2 to Yu State, it's okay if the food prices are higher, and the other party can give as much as you want. Wu Yu has a mild climate throughout the year, and there is no winter. You can hire someone to harvest the grass first, and hire someone to dig a few more fermentation pits. It's best to ferment the first batch of green fodder successfully when I go to Wu and Yu. Huakai Road. 57%. Chapter 323 Heavenly Fire Body Forging Pill. After finishing negotiations with Yu Jun and others, Huakai went to the weapon shop to finish the forging of the weapons needed for today, and then came to the pill refining room. Farong Dan belongs to the special elixir of the 6th rank. Forging requires 21,000 family luck points. Huakai heartbrokenly watched the family luck value drop from more than 90,000 to 70,000. 3 Farong Dan appeared in front of Huakai. This low rate of pill production is probably the reason that the elixir has been stored for too long, and the effect of the medicine has been lost too much. Put 3 Farong Dan into the portable space, Huakai flipped through the pill recipe in the pill refining room. Starting from the elixir, there are more than 10 kinds of elixir used in Zhu Guo, and most of them are the auxiliary medicine. These elixir required 7 or more elixir types, and none of them could be refined by Huakai in a short time. He focused on the elixir. There are 2 pill recipes that use Zhu Guo. Among them, there is a 9-tier spirit pill called Sky Fire Body Forging Pill, which is most likely to be refined by Huakai. Among them, the 3 flavor and 7 class elixir Huakai has 2 flavors. The 6th rank elixir has more than 3 flavors and Huakai has 3 flavors. The other elixir Huakai below 5th rank has only 4 flavors. The one used for the Ascension Physique has a chance to realize the will of fire. It is a spiritual pill that is effective when taken in the foundation building realm of Zochan. Huakai's only difference now is his physique. If this Sky Fire Body Forging Pill can be refined successfully, then his strength will definitely be able to get a large ascension. Coming out of the pill refining room, Huakai told his third uncle Hua Ziji the needed elixir, and asked him to contact the Four Seas Chamber of Commerce after the beginning of spring to see if he could gather the remaining elixir. This New Year Huakai was spent alone in the Lu Palace. In order not to arouse too many people's ideas, Huakai rejected Lu's New Year's invitation. He gave 2 Farong Dan and 1 Xuanbing Dan to Queen Lu. Tell him to pay attention to collecting the materials of Sky Fire Body Forging Pill. Time just passed by day. Huakai continued to practice sword technique every day, and then waited for King Lu to arrive and sent the elixir and strange stones he sent to the family's secret realm space, and then used the strange stones they provided to forge weapons. On the 5th of the first lunar month, there were fewer and fewer elixir and strange stones that King Lu could send. Huakai looked at the nearly 1,000 new elixir in the space and more than 3,000 strange stones in his portable space, with a satisfied smile at the corner of his mouth. Patriarch Hua, now more than a dozen weapons transactions have been completed, and all the elixir and strange stones accumulated by the family in Chufu have been handed over to you. In addition, there are 102 purple gold coins, 1.46 million taels of gold, and 2.18 million stones have been purchased for grain. There are 27 companies who want to upgrade their family's martial skill or mind skill. Mind skill and martial skill have been handed over to you. King Lu said when he came to Huakai's residence that day. The Lu family recently sold a large number of divine armament and Baodin in Chufu City, which inevitably aroused the urgent attention of many families. King Lu has rarely visited Huakai's residence recently, and sometimes only sent people to send elixir, strange stones, and gold. Upgrading the mind method and martial skill is more troublesome. It is estimated that it will take some time. Huakai said that his face was a little red. Although there is a big dream concept dream space, so far his mysterious sword technique hasn't getting started. Perhaps his talent is all in marksmanship. He has already understood the marksmanship he has sent over the past few days, and many have been upgraded in accordance with the other party's requirements. The upgrade of cultivation technique is not that simple. You must fully understand and master it before you can find out the deficiencies in cultivation technique. Take your time. If the cultivation technique upgrades are completed at the end of this year, you can send someone to me. King Lu said. Well, in that case, I will start loading food tonight. I will leave Haodian early in the morning. The food prepared by Zheng and Song countries should be about the same. When the food from the 4 countries is finished, I have to go to Wu and Yu. A trip to the country. Huakai said. When King Lu heard here, he hurriedly contacted the family of good friends. He had a rare opportunity to wait for Huakai to leave before he wanted to forge divine armament. Compared to the weapons. One night, Huakai packed millions of stone grains in the Baoguang glass bottle in the granary of the Lu Palace, and when he returned to his palace, he found that an attendant had sent several carts of gold and some mid-rank elixir. People take out everything that can be taken out, so that the family can have an extra divine armament that can be used in the Shantian realm. Collecting all the gold and elixir into the space, King Lu must have made a lot of money these days, because every few days he can get a batch of elixir and strange stones, especially the elixir he sent today. Huakai entered the weapon shop and successfully refined the weapons he needed. He saw that his family's luck value had fallen below 50,000 points. Tonight, he had to leave as soon as he received the remaining food in the Baoguang glass bottle. In the past 8 days, he spent a total of about 80,000 family luck points, bringing more than 2 million gold to the family. And the value of these elixir and strange stones is hard to estimate. The number of these elixirs is small, but more than 20 elixir prescriptions in the pill refining room have been illuminated, and these elixir are enough to make the Wahia high-end combat power ascension a big chunk. In the evening, Huakai went out of the bedroom and saw Wang Lu looking at him with a tangled face. In the past few days, Wang Lu has earned more than he had in previous years, and many vacillating families have secretly loyalty to him. There are also some third-rank aristocratic families, and the Lu family now has the ability to solve those aristocratic families who are always opposed to them, and all this is given by the young man in front of them. I will leave after I collect all the food tonight. What does King Lu have to explain? Huakai looked at the old man in front of him and knew what he was thinking. Although the two are allies, in the face of huge interests, some people may choose to take risks. Patriarch Hua has been to Chufu in the past few days. I have not been entertained. I found some of the elixir you want, you can look at it. King Lu said and sighed. He saw Huakai looking calmly. I take out a few medicine boxes from my own space, which are just part of the elixir needed by Sky Fire Forging Soul Pill. Thank you so much. I will use a treasure weapon in exchange later. No, the Lu family has got enough in the past few days, let's talk a little. Wang Lu said, shaking his head. Huakai entered the room and sat opposite to King Lu. When King Lu raised his hand, a barrier appeared around them. Hua Kai felt that King Lu's will of water should not have entered the third floor, but he was because Realm Gao has a strong ability to use the power of heaven and earth. 3 days ago, there was a Shantian great perfection in the Lu family. Now, most of the families in Chufu City have completely relied on the Lu family. After the beginning of the spring of this year, the Lu National Assembly has begun to overhaul its troops, and the world will soon be chaotic. Hua Kai was about to speak and was blocked by King Lu. Hua Kai closed his mouth and listened to the other side. The great families of Qi have already contacted the Lu family and want to form an alliance of all the central plains and eastern regions. Many independent countries have intentions. Although the alliance belongs to Qi, all the countries are just to resist the attack of Qin. This is the case. Zheng participated in Sage. Your teacher is taking the lead, and he is already in contact with Zhao, Wei, and Chu. When King Lu said here, Hua Kai could not help being surprised. The teacher was indeed dominating the whole Qi country. King Qi is now in critical condition, and only he can live in the 5 prefectures and 6 countries of Qi. He is already fighting against Qin. The preparation may be said to fight against Xinjiang. Kong Zisheng has not been born for hundreds of years, and now only Zheng Qian is likely to confront Xinjiang. The riots in Yichu and Bashu may also be Zheng Qian's handwriting. No wonder he allowed the Hua family to develop as quickly as possible. The general trend of the Qin state is complete. After occupying the Bashu and Yichu kingdoms, it has broken through the blockade. As long as they are given a chance to breathe, the energy that the Qin state can burst is absolutely beyond imagination. The 7 first-rank families in this battle will definitely be involved. After the battle, there will be an order reorganization. Only when the Lu state's combat power cannot be reduced to pawns, it was a good idea for the Lu family to secretly join the Qi state. Choose, but now. King Lu said that he stopped talking here. As one of the oldest families in the Central Plains, the Lu family's national strength is only under the 7 heroes. There are still many countries in Qin, and it is entirely possible that they will persist to the end, and perhaps they may become the first-rank family. The Hua family is far away from the Central Plains in Jialiu County. As long as you don't take the initiative to attack, it will be impossible for Yan, Qi, and Zhao to attack the Hua family. Jialiu County's land is gentle and fertile, and the area is no smaller than that of Lu. Perhaps when the Central Plains War begins, the Hua family can also become one of the chess players. King Lu said to Hua Kai. Hua Kai could feel that at this time, King Lu had already made an important ally in the Hua family. Thank you for telling me all this. Before I leave, I will give the Lu family another gift. You call all the cores of the Lu family over. Hua Kai looked at King Lu and said, this is the reward for the other party to tell him all this. The overall strength of the Hua family is no worse than that of the third-rank family. What it lacks is the big family allies like the Lu family. If there is any major change, the important allies can exchange information, so that they will not accidentally go the wrong way. Submerged by the torrent of history. King Lu quickly called more than 100 outstanding Lu family members, and they were all in the late-stage cultivation base. Hua Kai discovered that the other party had 6S qualifications or more, and one of them had the will of SS level. Hua Kai just glanced at everyone, and asked King Lu to take them down. When Hua Kai came out of the palace again, he had a list in his hand with the qualifications, loyalty, and shortcomings of these people. King Lu just took a look, used True Qi to shake the paper into powder and floated in the air. He faintly said thank you to Hua Kai. When we came to the granary, Hua Kai continued to enter the special small room. The second and third floors of this small room were large platforms. Hundreds of guards from the Lu Palace were carrying food into the funnel. All food income is in Baoguang glass bottle. Walking out of the granary gate, Lu Ma was taken out and waited. Hua Kai mounted his horse and did not take the road, but vacated and headed south. 57%. Chapter 324. On the 16th day of the first lunar month, Jialiu County was still in heavy snow, but Wuguo was luxuriant, and it was raining continuously. Hua Kai, Tang Lei, Hua Peng and other 4 people entered Meili City. It was the first time they saw this kind of water town. The Wu family belongs to the third-rank family. The area of the country is not very large, and the population is only more than 100,000, which is even sparser than Takaryu County. However, the life of the people here is quite wealthy. Many farmers grow mulberry and raise silkworms. Ordinary families buy these silks to make silk, and families sell them to the north. You can see civilians wearing silk everywhere here. Following the route given by Shui Pengyi, Wakai found Wu's house in Meili City, on a small island of about 1,000 acres. The small island is full of the Wu family's expanding clan for thousands of years. Huakai hired a boat to reach the gate of the Wu family compound with horses. Perhaps because of the flood of water in Meili City, Huakai saw that there are a lot of people practicing bows and arrows here. Most of them practice bows and arrows and saber techniques. The most common long weapons in the north, such as spears, halberds, and spears, are not even one. See. I told the guard at the entrance of Wu Mansion about the origin of On, and the guard quickly entered the report, and after a while Shui Pan walked out with a burly young man. You are Mr. Shui's patriarch. I heard that you are still Qi Guo's son. Have a chance to compete. That young man seemed to be 2 or 3 years older than Wakai, and Wakai felt that the other party's breath was actually in Shantian state. Ha ha, Patriarch, this is Lord Wu, who is good at archery and has the style of the King of Wu. No one knows the name of Tianzhou in the entire southern country. Shui Pan stepped forward to Wakai when he saw it. It turned out to be young Master Wu. Please forgive me for offending and disturbing the Hua family. Young Master Wu wants to learn from Hua Mo as his own company. Wakai looked at each other's muscles. His right hand tiger mouth and 5 fingers have thick calluses. This is another Tang Lei. The same martial idiot. Without using Eye of Reality, Wakai, as yin and yang, just felt a little bit, and knew that the other party's aptitude should have S. It is very likely that he is the heir of Wu Guo. Looking at you looking thin and thin, I didn't expect it to be a man. Let's go, let's discuss it first. Wu Gongzi said that he was about to bring Huakai into the mansion to study, and Tang Lei and the others were a little unhappy behind Huakai. As the head of the Hua family, Huakai doesn't have to come to greet him personally. He still has to challenge him directly. This is not taking the Hua family seriously. How can our patriarch be challenged by anyone? Let me accompany you with a few tricks. Tang Lei stepped forward, looking at young Master Wu and said. You are also in the Shantian realm. Looks good, then I will defeat you first, and then fight with your family. Wu Gongzi said relaxedly. Shui Pan stepped forward to explain to Wakai, but Wakai raised his hand to block him. Go, let's watch the martial arts competition first. I have heard about the prosperous style of Wu State, and I know that Wu State is powerful when I see young Master Wu today. In fact, Wakai is not disgusted with such martial idiots. Although the Wu family is only a third-rank family, its influence in the south is very large. Various families and families have a high degree of support for the Wu family, so some people have summarized a strange thing. As a second-ranked country, Wu State is several times stronger than Wu State, but the two countries have been fighting for years because Wu State has the upper hand. Every time Wu State conquered Wu State, it suffered heavy losses. As the second largest country in the world, Chu State has repeatedly conquered a second-ranked Wu State, but it has suffered heavy losses and has been unable to win it for many years. Qin is the world's largest country, but fighting against Chu has more victory than defeat. This is really a strange law. From this point, we can see that Wu Guo is not to be glimpsed. Gongzi Wu took Huakai's people to the exercise field in Wu Mansion. This exercise field was located in the center of Wu Mansion. It was built very tall and high grade. When someone was on the training field, many Wu Mansion personnel surrounded him. Wu Gongzi boarded the martial arts field, and there was a cheering shout from the audience, which showed that he was very proud of his family in Wu. Tang Lei followed onto the stage. Someone carried a heavy knife that seemed to be heavy, and Tang Lei couldn't help showing a serious look. Wu Guangyi, the first floor of Shantian realm, the weapon ghost knife weighs 219 kg, please advise. Wu Guangyi gestured. Hua family Tang Lei, Shantian realm 3rd floor, weapon Azure Dragon Yanyu knife weighs 199 jin, please advise. The two sides stood ready to report to each other about realm and weapons. This was a friendly battle. At this time, thousands of people were surrounded by the audience. Most of them were shouting Wu Guangyi's name, and occasionally some people were cheering for Tang Lei. Huakai and everyone from the Hua family watched quietly in the audience, feeling the prosperity of the Wu family's martial arts. This martial arts is different from Wei's martial arts. What Wei advocates as personal force to help justice and revitalize the country. And Wu completely admires the strong, which is why the Wu family has such a high prestige in Wu. Wu Guangyi took the lead in attacking Tang Lei in the martial arts field. Although his realm was lower than Tang Lei, he was not timid at all. The 200 Caddy's ghost knife had no weight in his hands, and he quickly attacked Tang Lei. Kill it. The first time the two met Wu Guangyi, they felt that they were not as powerful as each other. The ghost sword he took was much shorter than the Azure Dragon Yanyu sword, and his moves were much more flexible, so he began to look for opportunities to get close. But when Tang Lei suppressed the opponent in strength, realm, and weapon level, and had years of experience in killing enemies by frontier fortresses, how could he be able to get close to him easily? And Wu Guangyi was obviously unable to support the two after 10 rounds of battle. War. Wu Guangyi yelled and saw that his blood qi was turbulent instantly, his face was flushed, and even his muscles seemed to be strong by 3 points. His moves became more and more fierce, and Tang Lei also began to get serious at this time. Azure Dragon Yanyu knife various martial skills continued to be used, and the two of them were passionate about killing Peng Bai. Stop. At this time, a voice came from behind the Yanwu Hall, and the audience heard that there was a way out, and a middle-aged man wearing a gorgeous brocade came over. Tang Lei and Wu Guangyi exited the battle circle at the same time after confronting each other. They watched the middle-aged man walk to Wakai's side. Father, I haven't lost yet, Wu Guangyi said unwillingly, looking at the middle-aged man. This fierce general is a horse general. If it is a horse war, you may not be able to resist it for 3 rounds. You have used your talent skills, and the opponent has not exhausted all your strength, the outcome has been determined. Wu Wang came to Huakai's side, said with a smile. Although Wu Guangyi was dissatisfied, he also knew that he could not hold Tang Lei, and said to Tang Lei beside him, "You are really strong, I lost today." Tang Lei put away his weapon, and the opponent was able to voluntarily surrender to make him have a sudden increase in his favor with Wu Guangyi. "You are not bad too, we have a chance to fight again in the future." The audience in the audience heard the dialogue between the two and applauded and shouted for them. Wu Guangyi was the first arrogant of the country of Wu. Someone could defeat him. This made them look at Tang Lei's eyes with a trace of worship. The two Shantian realms discussed this. It's rare in Wu Mansion. Patriarch Hua, I didn't expect you to be so young. Today's busy housework was unable to meet him personally. Let Yer greet Patriarch Hua on behalf of my king. I don't want him to cause this again. Wu Wang doesn't have to be like this. Young Master Wu's arrogance is rare in the world. It's normal to learn from each other. If you take the liberty to disturb the Wu family, please forgive Wang Wu. Hua Kai said to the other party's emperor. King Wu leaned over and did not dare to accept Huakai's gift. He could feel the strong, ice will, aura around Huakai. The opponent seemed to be about 20 years old, and the power of will was even greater than the average foundation building Zochin. Strongly, there is a great chance of achieving gold core in the future. Haha, the Hua family master is really enviable. With talents like Mr. Shui and Tang Mengshi, the future establishment of the Hua family will not be difficult. Please enter the inner courtyard for a comment. Wu Wang stretched out his hand and invited. Not all countries in this world have palaces. Most third-rank families do not build palaces, and even some second-rank families do not build palaces. This is related to their family history, internal and external relations, and some third-rank families. After the founding of the country, the family likes others to call themselves the lord of the city. Entering the inner courtyard of Wu Mansion, Hua Kai and others were first sent to a courtyard to wash, and later King Wu would host a banquet to entertain them. All aristocratic families like to make friends with powerful families so that they can survive better in this world. Today, Hua Kai and the 7 Shantian realms came to Meili City together, which was almost the same as the high-end combat power of the Wu Kingdom. Looking at the Hua Jia Jing, everyone riding a magic horse, Wu Wang had to pay attention to the Hua family. Hua Kai came to the other courtyard arranged by Wu's family. Although there is no Lu Guo palace that looks luxurious here, there is a rockery and a small river in the courtyard, and countless beautiful fish can be seen in the river, which has the unique beauty and purity of the south. While everyone is going to wash, Huakai enters the family secret realm space and finds a blood-mad knife in weapon shop. The top rank is the best for Wu Guangyi. Wu Guangyi just now had the weapon pour and Tang Lei was not too far away. The warm-blooded state was enough for Tang Lei to use his full strength. Soon after, the Wu Mansion invited Hua Kai and others to a banquet. At the banquet, the King Wu placed the own table and stools and Hua Kai Ping at the top position. The Hua family Shantian sat on the side of Hua Kai, and Wu Guangyi sat below King Wu. A location. Today, Patriarch Hua came here in person. Please forgive me for the poor reception. I already know that the Hua family is here. I know that Wu family can sell 600,000 stone grains. In addition, I have asked the people of Meili City to cut the grass you need. Within 10 days, collecting 1,000,000 caddies of grass is not difficult. Wang Wu said as the master first. Then thank King Wu first. I occasionally get a knife, named Blood Maniac Sword. I think it is very suitable for Mr. Wu, and I will give it to Mr. Wu today. Hua Kai said and took out Blood Maniac Sword. Wu Guangyi hurriedly got up from his seat when he saw it, but he couldn't see the Wu Wang who was next to him. Wu Guangyi took the Blood Maniac Sword from Hua Kai and threw out 3 swordsmanship. His saber technique was really good. It's really a good knife. It's better than my ghost knife. I don't know how many times better. Patriarch Hua, you are really magnificent. If you need help in the country of Wu, just tell me, there is nothing here that Wu Guangyi can't do. Son. Wu Guangyi said happily. His eyes couldn't leave blood-crazed knife. He didn't see that his father's face was darkened to the bottom of the pot. 58%. Chapter 325. Wu Guangyi took the Blood Maniac Sword and was very happy. Everyone at the banquet was talking very well. When the banquet was about to end, Hua Kai took out a piece of paper and gave it to King Wu. The Hua family moved from Jialiu County to Wu State this time. One aspect is to purchase grain and grass to solve the current snow disaster food problem. Another is to collect a few elixir. I wonder if King Wu has these 4 elixir. Whereabouts? Hua Kai said, handing the elixir pill to King Wu. You may have to wait a few days for this. I need to let someone go down and find it. As for this elixir and strange stone, there is no more in this world than you, but they are not easy to deal with. If Wu Guo finds you can go to Yu country if you don't have it. Wu Wang said to Hu Kai. Returning to the residence in the evening, Shui Pan introduced to Hua Kai his achievements in Wu Guo for more than 10 days. Wu Guo has already prepared 700,000 shi of grain. Here, the Wu family is the dominant family, and no other family will have much resources in their hands. He has hired more than 10 people to squeeze the fermentation pits needed by the green fodder. I stayed in Wu country for 5 days and harvested all the grain first. I will send the green fodder to my uncle Wu in Shuichen first. If I can deliver the green fodder to the country earlier, the Hua family will lose less. You stay here and we will go home together when we return from Vietnam. A few days ago, Shui Chen told Hua Kai that more and more animals in the Ordos tribe were freezing to death. Many times, when they got up early in the morning, they saw that the sheep in the sheepfold were frozen. The Hua family also sent more than 100 pieces of green fodder and 20,000 shi of grain. The animals have food in their stomachs, and the phenomenon of freezing to death has disappeared. In the evening, Hua Kai sent 100,000 shi of grain to Shui Chen and asked him to hand over 50,000 to Warentia. The snow is so thick this year, I don't know when it will be until the snow melts. Anyway, spring can't be the same as last year. The time has come. On the second day, Hua Kai went to the warehouse built by Shui Panzi. In the afternoon, all the food had been delivered into the Beoguang glass bottle. Although the price that Hua Kai offered to the Wu family was 10% higher than usual, a stone of wheat was only 280 bone coins, which is unimaginable to a few people. 700,000 stones of grain is less than 20,000 gold, which is better than buying in Zheng State and Song State. Food is much cheaper. In the afternoon, Wu Guangyi came to the other courtyard where everyone from the Hua family lived. He was followed by 3 servants with 3 jade boxes in his hands. Patriarch Hua, this is the elixir you want, and you can't find the prosperity flower blindly. Maybe you can go to the mountains in the southwest of the country to try your luck. Our elixir was purchased from the family of the Yu country. Wu Guangyi came to Hua Kai and said. Hua Kai didn't expect that Wu's family could find the 3-flavored elixir so quickly. It is recorded in the world's elixir of wealth and honor that the flowering time is usually very short, and most of them are in the deep mountains and old forests. Beasts are very sensitive to this. Most of the rich flowers are eaten by demonic beasts or wild beasts. Thank you so much. How much are these elixir? I will give you now. Hua Kai asked Shui Pan and others to take the jade box and said. These elixir will be given to you. It's a return of blood-crazed knife. If you have anything to do, you can come to my house to find me, I won't bother. Wu Guangyi said as he looked at Tang Lei. He had the blood-mad knife and wanted to try the power of the new weapon. Tang Lei, go and discuss with Master Wu. Hua Kai said to Tang Lei. When Wu Guangyi left, Hua Kai saw that there was only one last elixir left in the Sky Fire Forging Body Pill, and was very excited. If the Sky Fire Forging Body Pill can be successfully refined on this trip to the country, then the Hua family will no longer being afraid of the foundation building environment. The Wahia can truly stand firm in Takayanagi County. In the afternoon, I continued to practice sword technique, but after half a month, Hua Kai still couldn't comprehend this set of profound level sword technique. He felt that he might not have the talent for practicing sword. Entering the family secret realm space, Hua Kai saw Yu Jun chatting with Grandpa here. Patriarch, seeing Hua Kai, Yu Jun got up and asked, "How is the situation in Vietnam?" Hua Kai said, "Yu Jun has been to Vietnam for more than 10 days. A few days ago, he said that he had not found the owner of the Yu country, and that Yu country could be different from ordinary countries. The more mountains in the country, all families build cottages in the mountains. People who are not familiar with this place may not even find them. There are some cottages like Baishan. The Yu family rules the entire family and family of the Yu country. They are all loose alliances. We searched for 10 days and only found Kuiji City yesterday and met the king of Yu." Yu Jun said. "You said about buying food, what did the king Yu say?" Hua Kai asked. "The king Yu summoned us, but he was not very concerned about buying food. The Yu country rarely interacted with other countries. They didn't care much about things in the Central Plains, and they didn't know anything about our Chinese family. He treated as the matter of buying food was handed over to a Vietnamese official and then ignored. Now that official doesn't care much. We are trying to contact other big families and tell them that the price of their food is 20% higher than the local price. I believe there will be someone." Heartbeat. Yu Jun said. "Do your best. If you can't do the green fodder thing, then give up. The price of a caddy of grass is 1 bone coin. Wu Guaduo's people do it. You can ask if there is news of the rich and precious flowers in Vietnam. If not, just offer a reward. Those who provide the information of rich flower will offer a reward of thousands of dollars, and someone who is willing to sell, offer a reward of 10,000 gold." Hua Kai said. "Okay, I get it. I have news that I will send back to the family secret realm space as soon as possible." "Is there anything else?" the patriarch, Yu Jun said. "Well, there's another thing. Try this sword technique to see if you can learn it. If you learn it, tell me the first time." Hua Kai said. He is willing to upgrade the mentality of the Lu family. With the strength of Ascension Lu, this aspect is to increase the difficulty for the Qin state to dominate the world. The Central Plains countries can support 1 day, Jialiu County will have 1 day to develop. On the other hand, I also want to make the Lu kingdom be able to contain the attention of the great family in the Central Plains after it is strong, so that the Hua family has made a lot of moves in Jialiu County, so that it will not attract too many people's attention. On the 17th, Shui Pan inspected that the first batch of green fodder buried in the ground had been successfully fermented. The total amount was more than 100,000 caddies. It sounded a lot, but it was only more than 400 square meters. Hua Kai directly passed these green fodder to Shui Chen, and asked Shui Chen to slowly send the green fodder back to Jialiu County. Just after the fermentation of this batch of green fodder was completed, someone organized the burial and fermentation of the second batch of green fodder. Jialiu County, Ordos tribes, and Ujumchin tribes should be able to support for a while. The Wahia green fodder has only left about 300 square meters, which must be left for BMW and horses to eat. On the 18th, Hua Kai took Tang Lei, Hua Peng and other 5 people to Vietnam, leaving Shui Pan alone in charge of green fodder matters. The country of Yu has always been called the country of Shanyu. The reason is that there are many mountains in the country. Unlike Mount Tai and Kinling Mountains, the mountains are not high and there are not too many demonic beasts. Because of the mild climate, the plants grow luxuriantly, and there are many kinds of poisonous mosquitoes. Without the cultivation base, it is difficult to survive in this mountain. Fortunately, Hua Kai and the 6 others didn't have to travel through the woods on horseback horses. Feeling the breath of Yu Jun, a few people rode into the air and drove towards the capital of Vietnam. The horses galloped fast in the void. From a high altitude, some cottages could be seen hidden in the mountains and forests. The Vietnamese people in the cottages saw Hua Kai and others flying over their heads, and they couldn't help but return to their houses to avoid them. It may be because there is no winter here. The cottages in the Ugoshan forest are very simple to build. Some houses are made up of a few simple wooden boards. Hua Kai also saw some people build their houses on tall trees. No wonder many expeditions to the Yu country have suffered heavy losses. The ordinary soldiers here are difficult to survive, and the masters may not even find their cottages. It is as difficult to conquer the Yu country as to climb to the sky. About 200 miles south, Hua Kai and the others stopped and rested more than 10 times. Shenju also seemed quite uncomfortable in this environment. They finally saw the city in the mountains. Kuiji City is much better than Hua Kai imagined. Although it is in the mountains, the city is much larger than Meili City. The entire Kuaiji city is located on a half slope. From a distance, the roads are densely covered around Kuaiji city like spider legs. Huakai saw some mountain people walking around Kuaiji city with their backpacks on their backs. Such a city Huakai see you for the first time. They rode all the way to the outside of Kuaiji city. Soldiers blocked their way. Huakai explained that he had paid 12 taels of money to enter the city. Only then did the 6 of them lead their horses into the city. After entering Kuaiji, the place is flat and the city is very lively. If it weren't for the people here to wear hemp clothes, Huakai would have thought he had returned to the Central Plains. The street is full of screams. The items sold on the street are very different from the Central Plains. Huakai found that the most bought here are straw ropes, straw shoes, straw hats and other weaving products. The real shops are very scarce. They searched for a long time. I found the only inn here, which looks pretty good. The 3 people including Yu Jun lived here. When Huakai found them, he saw that they were preparing to have lunch. The meat here was quite abundant. Patriarch, this South Vietnam is much looser than we thought. Now the entire South Vietnam is actually made up of 141 big cottages. Although the Yu family is powerful, it has little binding force on other cottages. It is very difficult for us to buy food, because the 141 large cottages are about 1,000 people in size. They also have countless middle-level cottages. Usually the cottages are inequality and mutual benefit. Yu Jun said to Huakai. In this case, buying food becomes nonsense. It is impossible for Huakai to visit all the cottages. The population of this South Vietnam country may exceed 1 million, but the management is looser than that of the northern bandits. Many thousands of Wu Guo. What about rewarding rich and precious flowers? I said. Is there any news? Huakai asked. Someone came to the inn this morning, saying that they had encountered the Fuguewa in the Golden Ape Mountain, but the legend of the Golden Ape Mountain has a big monster, and there are many demonic beasts around, and the people of the South Vietnamese mountains dare not approach it. 58%. Chapter 326 Folk Tales. Huakai and the others quietly listened to Yu Jun's story about the Golden Ape Mountain. Legend has it that there was a great demon who lived there, with a human face and ape body running like flying. Will not hurt at will. When the big demon was there, it was still in harmony with humans. Then the mountain people heard the sound of the mountain crashing and the ground cracking. The golden ape turned into a 100-meter high great ape and roared continuously for 3 days and 3 nights. Disappeared. What's on your notebook? Huakai asked when he saw Yu Jun holding a notebook with many strange patterns painted on it. This is a portrait of a legendary big demon I have collected here in recent days. There are many stories about the big demon. I am only 1 step away from the promotion of the novel, but there is no way. Collect some traditional stories here. I plan to write a story about demonic beasts. Yu Jun said to Huakai. Huakai took Yu Jun's notes. On each piece of paper, there were some peculiar demonic beasts. Some had big mouths, some had 3 heads and 6 arms, and some walked on 1-legged, densely written under the words demonic beasts. The introductions are all earth-shattering stories. In recent years, Huakai has rarely written novels. What he writes most is still some philosophical articles on spiritual chicken soup, and the management of the family's various systems, mainly for the cultural value of the Ascension family. People in this world like demonic beast stories above the foundation building level beyond ordinary people's imagination. After writing 3 Kingdoms, Huakai knows that basic copywriting skills can give him some benefits in the world of novels. Some characters' cultivation technique introduced more in detail. The greater the willpower ascension feedback to him, he plans to write a mythological novel seriously in late stage, so that his willpower can get ascension. Rich flower is very important to us. Even if there is a trace of rich flower news, we can't let it go. Tang Lei, please take everyone to stay here first, and buy more spiritual herbs, spirit trees, and strange stones here. I will give you 100 purple gold coins. Yu Jun and Hua Peng, the 3 of us, will go to the Golden Ape Mountain. Whether we find the fortune flower or not, we will definitely come back within half a month. Then we will return to the country of Wu and pass all the green fodder to Shui Chen, and we will return to Jialiu County. Huakai told several people. Before he had time to experience the Vietnamese customs, Huakai went out of Kuaiji City with Yu Jun and Hua Peng after dinner, and rode westward towards the Golden Ape Mountain. The Golden Ape Mountain is about 600 miles away from Kuaiji City, and the Shenju Pentium is about 20 miles away. You have to stop and rest. The further you go west, Huakai finds that there are fewer and fewer cottages in the mountain. In the evening, they found a cliff cave to rest. There were wild beasts wandering in the mountains and forests. Some wild beasts took the initiative to attack when they saw them. On the morning of the third day, they were about 150 miles away from the Golden Ape Mountain. The three of them were running on horseback. A white mink suddenly jumped up from the forest and attacked Yu Jun. When Yu Jun saw the horse riding here, he went directly to the strength training secret realm. If the core members of the Wa family are riding in an emergency, they will go directly to the strength training secret realm to escape. If someone is using the strength training secret realm, then enter vitality training secret realm, will training secret realm. Wa Kai and Wa Peng landed quickly on horseback, and the white mink saw the target disappear and directly killed Wa Kai on the side. Wa Kai took out the gentian gun to fight with the white sable. For the first time he fought with the demon, he could feel that the opponent is surrounded by powerful rules of willpower. This white sable belongs to the special wind attribute, although it is tall. Over 1 meter, but the speed is flying. Wa Kai only feels the blood chi is turbulent all over his body, and his strength is too far away from the opponent. You are not this demonic beast's opponent, let go. Wa Kai saw that Yu Jun had come out of the family secret realm space and landed on the ground, and he hurriedly shouted with Wa Peng to help. His 3 levels of ice will can resist the imprisonment of most of the opponent's rules, and although he is at an absolute disadvantage, he can still persist. The white mink also underestimated him, and often used its front paws to directly resist Huakai's gentian gun attack. Its body began to be covered with a layer of frost, and its speed was getting slower and slower. Huakai felt his pressure suddenly reduced a lot. Unknowingly, Huakai already had the strength to fight demonic beasts. He saw that the white mink was getting slower and slower. The white mink who lost his speed only had the power of the foundation building realm. Huakai used the low-level Zochan level split air spear fight against it without losing any wind. The white mink seemed to feel that it would be very unfavorable for him to continue like this. The will of the wind around it suddenly broke out and quickly jumped out of the battle with Huakai. When the 3 people thought that the white mink was going to give up attacking and escape, they didn't want it to float in the woods. Void Paw Prince flew out from the air and flew towards Wa Kai. Huakai knew that this was a visionary phantom unique to demonic beasts, and that it was an attack method that could only be understood by combat power above the foundation building level. He knew that he could not hide. His whole body ice will was condensed with his whole body, and his whole body true chi was condensed in Gentiana gun, and the head of Gentiana gun showed a solid ice mist about a foot, and it was empty of white sable. The shadows collided. Boom. There seemed to be the sound of a glass breaking. Wa Kai felt as if surrounded by a gust of wind. In an endless world of gusts, his body ice force tried to keep himself from being blown away by the gusts, but Wa Kai recovered his mind for a moment. Feel the pain all over the body. Countless trees on the ground were destroyed by the previous battle. He tried to stand firm and saw that the white mink had returned to normal. He stood looking at him from a distance. There was a bone in his left front paw. Its wound froze, and it suffered substantial damage just now. Yu Jun and Wa Peng stayed steady. They saw Wa Kai stand up and kill the white sable. They couldn't kill the sables during the victory period, but they could still try the junior demonic beasts who were seriously injured. The white mink also knew that he could not defeat the 3 of them, and turned and fled to the distance. Although it could not use one claw, it was still not slow. Don't chase. Wa Kai shouted to the 2. Patriarch, how are you? Wa Peng stepped forward and supported Wa Kai. I'm fine. Even though the white mink is injured, it is not something we can kill easily. If we force it to explode, the 3 of us may have to die. Get out of here quickly. The movement just now may attract more powerful demonic beasts. Wa Kai said as he took out a rejuvenation pill and took it. Although he was recovering from Shantian's injury quickly, he had a rejuvenation pill to recover faster. The 3 of them mounted their horses and walked forward for more than 10 miles. They stopped when they saw a huge boulder. Huakai felt that there was still a strong sense of crisis ahead. The demonic beasts in this mountain forest were not weaker than the Kindling Mountains. Just now Wa Kai had always felt something was wrong, but he didn't feel any danger. Presumably the white mink had the talent for sneak attack and wouldn't be noticed by him. They had to be more careful in this mountain forest. After meditating for more than an hour, Wa Kai felt that his injury was finally relieved. He opened his eyes and saw Yu Jun and Wa Peng guarding by his side. Patriarch, Wa Peng worried. It's okay. This is close to the core area of demonic beasts. Demonic beasts will increase in number, and medium demonic beasts or even big monsters may appear. Huapeng, you stay here to guard the horses. Try not to provoke demonic beasts. If you find something is wrong, take the horses and quickly escape from here. Next, I and Yu Jun can go to the Golden Ape Mountain. Hua Kai stood up and said, Patriarch, your injury has not healed yet, so let me and Shusheng you go. Hua Peng, as the Hua family, regards Hua Kai as a lifelong follower and guardian existence, and does not want Hua Kai to take risks. If Yu Jun and I are in danger, we can still enter the family secret realm space to escape. You can hide here, and try not to come out if we don't come back. Hua Kai said. Patriarch, I know, Hua Peng said. Hua Kai and Yu Jun began to walk in the direction of Jinyuan Mountain. They shuttled through the dense woods, and when they found something wrong, they entered the family secret realm space to escape. Demonic beasts who can hide their own existence like a white mink are among the few. After all, they finally saw the Golden Ape Mountain marked on the map in the afternoon. This Golden Ape Mountain is actually a mountain range, with a vast area. Hua Kai saw from a distance that there seemed to be creatures shaking on the Golden Ape Mountain. It should be a golden ape on the mountain. The number of demonic beasts here is increasing. There should be a mid-level demonic beasts about 10 miles on the left. We must not go there. We need to go too far on the right. We must walk past the 5 miles of grass in front of us. Hua Kai and Yu Jun hid under a big tree and discussed. Patriarch, let me go. If you stay here, I will enter the family secret realm space to escape if you are in danger. Yu Jun said. There is nothing covering the grass in front of me. If you want to reach the Golden Ape Mountain, you will inevitably be discovered by the Golden Ape in the distance. Although the Golden Apes don't know their strength, they won't be too bad to survive here. Let's talk about fighting with the Golden Apes. It is also troublesome to attract other demonic beasts nearby. You don't have the slightest resistance to demonic beasts, let me go. But we have to discuss it carefully. Have you seen that mountain? Hua Kai suddenly pointed to a mountain not far away, which is the highest near Golden Ape Mountain. Mountain peaks. I saw it, Yu Jun said. Go to that mountain, find the best place to view the whole view of Golden Ape Mountain, and hide. Later I will get close to you and observe carefully. When I encounter demonic beasts attack, I will hide in the family secret realm space. You can check demonic beasts trends here. If it leaves, you can enter the family room and tell me. Hua Kai said. It is very difficult to sneak into the Golden Ape Mountain at night. Demonic beasts have their own turf. They will return to the territory at night. They will not let it go when they encounter invaders. Therefore, they have to climb during the day and have topographic maps during the day to avoid getting lost. 58%. Chapter 327. Hua Kai returned to the family secret realm space and waited. Today, the Wufu butler is on duty in the space. After waiting for more than 3 hours in the space, Yu Jun finally came in and said that he had found the best place to look out. Hua Kai left family space and came to the edge of the woods. He lowered and quickly rushed towards the lawn, aiming at the Golden Ape Mountain in the distance. Shantian True Chi filled his feet. Hua Kai didn't make any sound, but with 2 breaths, he had already ran out most of the distance. At this time, he felt that a trace of mental energy was coming to his location, and he didn't want to quickly enter family space. After waiting for a few minutes in family space, Yu Jun came in. He told Hua Kai that there was no change in his surroundings after he left. The speed of Hua Kai just now made the entire Golden Ape Mountain unreacted. Hua Kai saw that Yu Jun left family space again. He returned to the foot of the Golden Ape Mountain without waiting for his feet to touch the ground, and quickly rushed towards the Golden Ape Mountain. He was about to enter the deep forest at the foot of the mountain. Yuanming, Hua Kai felt that the mental energy who was investigating him just now came again, and he ignored him and continued to run into the Golden Ape Mountain forest until he felt that the willpower of the intermediate demonic beasts locked him, a powerful sense of crisis. It quickly enveloped his whole body. At this time, Hua Kai saw a golden ape running towards him in the forest. Having entered the mountain forest, Hua Kai disappeared from the place again. He waited in family space for nearly half an hour before Yu Jun came in. Patriarch, a giant snake fell from the place where you disappeared just now, and it took a long time to leave, but the golden apes have not left yet. Yu Jun said to Hua Kai. Hua Kai was not in a hurry, and began to take out the place where the legendary, rich flower, appeared. It was in a swamp in the Golden Ape Mountain. The other party drew the road map and passed through here, and the person who listened to Yu Jun's message to them was just a pneumatic realm. How did the other party get through here? First of all, weak strength is also good in this mountain forest. The lower the level, demonic beasts will seldom feel and notice you, so that they can conceal themselves and enter the Golden Ape Mountain quietly. Although he was not very close to the Golden Ape just now, Wakai could feel that the number of opponents was not very large, and the strength was not weak, otherwise it would not be possible to survive here. Since the aerodynamic realm can pass, saying that Ming Jin Yuanshan has the possibility of sneaking in, Wakai carefully studied this map. The route drawing in it was too rough and simple, which could not give him any instructions. After more than 10 minutes, Yu Jun came in and told Huakai that all the golden apes had retreated, and the direction was south, and Huakai was going to be 10 miles away from the west. Out of the family space, Wakai saw the silence around him. He controls the rotation speed of true qi, so that the breath of true qi is minimized, so that some demonic beasts may not notice him if they don't look carefully. Wakai continued to move west. He found that there were no other wild beasts and savage beasts on the Golden Ape Mountain. This thing was really strange. After 100 steps, he heard a faint noise not far away. He fixed his eyes and saw that it was a small gold ape. The golden ape was not afraid to see Wakai. Wakai saw that the golden ape's eyes were many times smarter than the average brutal beast, and he felt its breath at best. This little golden ape turned out to be a spiritual ape. Demonic beasts generally give birth to demonic beasts, and occasionally they give birth to spirit beasts. However, spirit beasts often give birth to demonic beasts. The difference between spirit beasts and demonic beasts is whether mental energy is strong or not. Spirit beasts are very intelligent at an early age, and demonic beasts can only take their time when their strength reaches the level of demonic beasts. Have complicated thinking. Wakai looked at the smart eyes of the little guy in front of him. He didn't dare to speak out. He might not be able to leave when the Golden Ape group was attracted. It would be difficult for Yujun to get information about himself when he entered the mountain forest. He should not move here. Too big. But after walking a few steps, Wakai saw the little golden ape chasing him. It walked 10 meters behind him and followed him. Wakai couldn't help stopping when he saw it. Little guy, I'll give you some food. You eat here. I'm just passing by and you don't need to follow me. Huakai put down some fruits stored in the northern autumn, as well as some pancakes and meat. The little golden ape saw Wakai leaving something and stopped to play, and then tried to put it in his mouth, feeling that the taste seemed to be good, so he gulped. Wakai saw this place, hurriedly walked away, and walked more than 2 miles to the west, only to find that it was a downhill. The downhill road was full of boulders, and there were traces of golden apes on the boulders. I was afraid it was them. Pass here often. Wakai cautiously jumped down from the huge boulder and saw that this was a small lake. There was nothing quiet in the lake. Squeak. Wakai heard a soft voice, and he looked up and saw that the little golden ape just now did not know when it had already come in front of him. You little guy, I have given you all the food. Why are you still chasing me? If I had been a bad guy, I would have taken you away. Wakai said to the little guy. The little guy didn't seem to understand, so he jumped around happily and called him in a direction far away. Wakai went down the stone slope, came to the side of little golden ape, looked in the direction it was pointing, and almost hid back to family space in shock. I saw hundreds of golden apes standing on a pile of rocks in the distance. A golden ape over 3 meters tall was the most burly body. He looked at Wakai and ignored it, as if he didn't mind the arrival of the house at all. Guessed. Huakai only sensed the strength of this golden ape leader. It should be about to advance to the intermediate demonic beasts gold core realm. The 4 next to them are slightly smaller, and they should all be in the foundation building realm. Huakai watched quietly. Some little golden apes were playing in the distance, and they rushed to eat the food Huakai gave to the little golden apes. This turned out to be a spirit beast group. Spirit beasts generally do not take the initiative to attack humans or demonic beasts. They are generally highly intelligent and less aggressive, just like Warentia's clouded leopard, but Huakai has already arrived. These golden apes in the Golden Ape Mountain actually ignore themselves. The degree of friendliness of the golden ape to humans is beyond the normal spirit beast. No wonder the people who provide rich flour can enter the Golden Ape Mountain. Jin Yuan is not hostile, which is great for Wakai, but he still pays attention not to damage the vegetation here, and walks in the direction of his destination. It didn't take long for Huakai to see the marshland marked on the map, and the fortune flower grew in this marshland. The birds flying over the marsh are constantly flying, but they are all low-level beasts or wild beasts. Huakai's feet are in the marsh. It feels that the marsh ground is full of silt, and all kinds of flowers and plants grow in the marsh. Here is spiritual qi. It is much higher than the Golden Ape Mountain, and it is suitable for the growth environment of rich flower. Wakai has been walking into the swamp. He came to the destination where the vegetation is rich, and some unknown flowers are already in full bloom. After looking for it for a long time, he did not find the rich flower he needed. Maybe this year, there is no growth-rich flower. After finding a relatively hard piece of land, Wakai sat down cross-legged. This place does not seem dangerous for the time being. As long as everyone of yin and yang is very close to what he is asking for, he will be able to feel some sense. Mental energy took the opportunity to be in the sky, and Wakai opened his eyes shortly afterwards. He felt a faint feeling in the southwest direction of Wuli, but the feeling was not very strong. He had to check it out anyway. Following the guidance, Wakai came to the induction site. He searched the ground little by little, and finally let him find a grass more than a foot high. He recognized that the grass was a rich grass, but now he only grows. Come out of flower bone. Wealthy grass is very unique in a group of grasses and trees, just like the noble prince. As the fifth-rank spiritual plant, it is very poisonous throughout its body, and ordinary creatures can't get close to it. However, the flowers it blooms are exceptionally gorgeous, with the powerful effects of Ascension's biological physique, which makes people sigh with the colorfulness of the creatures in this world. Wakai sat next to this fortune grass, closed his eyes and explored this swamp with mental energy, hoping to get other responses about fortune grass. However, in the past half an hour, Huakai mental energy has consumed almost the same amount and has not received any feedback. This Fugi flower can be regarded as the essence of spiritual chi of heaven and earth. God will only let me find this one. But this Fugi grass should bloom very quickly. What about waiting here for a while? What the Hua family currently lacks is high-end combat power. If you can take Sky Fire Body Pill, Realm Ascension to Shantian Realm Zochin, plus his 3 levels Ice Wool, Zochin level Celestial Low level Split Air Spear, even if the opponent is in the foundation building environment, he is not afraid. This is the most important to the current Chinese family. Wakai returned to family space, and when Yu Jun came in, he told him to hide in family space more. He has found rich grass, but it will take some time to wait for it to bloom. Waiting is boring. Wakai waited for 3 days by fortune grass, but the small flower buds of fortune grass did not grow at all. He didn't worry in his heart. Every day, he spent time with the family in the family secret realm. Chat to learn about the current situation of the snow disaster in the grassland. Shui Chen had already sent a portion of the grain to his fifth uncle Hua Zichen. Although Jialiu County has consumed almost the same amount of green fodder, the cattle, sheep, and livestock will not starve to death. There is less and less snow on the grassland, but it may take some time to wait for the winter to pass. The grassland in this winter is much colder than before. Zhuang told Huakai that this winter, Princess Warentuya has special green fodder. The news of a large amount of food has spread throughout the Ujumchin tribe. Many banners and affiliated tribes have already taken refuge in Urantuya. Now Urantuya's power in the Ujumchin tribe has already become the head of the Ujumchin tribe. Almost less. All the herdsmen of the Ujumchin tribe know that Princess Urantuya is going to marry Huakai. Nowadays, the prestige of the Hua family in the Ujumchin tribe is constantly improving, and the Patriarch of Ujumchin also agrees with Urantuya. After many talks, the results were not discussed. Up to now, the voice of the Ujumchin tribe's expedition has been much lower. In the beginning of this year, the Dayu state and the Xiaoyu state may resolve the dispute through negotiation. 58%. Chapter 328. Everything at home is still stable, and now it's time to wait for the snow to melt and spring. I don't know how long it will take to see Fugi grass blooming. Huakai just goes out family space every day and comes back quickly. In addition to understanding and dealing with family matters every day in the space, Huakai has a lot of free time, except for strength training secret realm since there is no spiritual chi in other places and cannot be cultivation. Wakai began to conceive the fairy tales in his mind. Thinking of the myth, the romance of the gods, and Journey to the West were the classics of his previous life, no one didn't know. Although Function Yanyi is most similar to the world today, it weakens the importance of the king and reveals the root causes of some aristocratic families. Individualism, hermit role, and sect role are infinitely exaggerated. This is obviously not suitable for propaganda and contributes to social stability. There are negative effects, so Wakai put his mind on Journey to the West. Journey to the West mainly tells the story of a great demon who was transformed by Buddhism to correct evil and become a Buddha. There is Buddhism in this world, but it is not prosperous. It is impossible for Wakai to write a story about spreading Buddhism. He first spent a few days reimagining the core and main line of the new Journey to the West. When he conceived the myth in his mind clearly, he found that the entire Journey to the West had been completely changed by him. The first half of the book is all about the life of the demon race. Sun Wukong is the first protagonist of the book. He is a stone monkey born from the heaven and earth golden will bred a strange stone Budian stone. He has just been born, and he has become the Monkey King and led the monkeys to defeat other races in the Wagwo Mountain. He has been cultivating in Wagwo Mountain for more than 300 years, and he has gone out to learn art for longevity. After 10 years of study, he finally met human sage. After 10 years of study, he learned the various magical powers of the human hermit and became a great demon. The protagonists in this world are humans and demons, but most humans and demons can get along with each other in peace, and Sun Wukong is the first to learn human supernatural powers as a demonic, and he is also very friendly to humans. Learning skills returned to Wagwo Mountain. Sun Wukong's supernatural powers forced the surrounding races. He practiced 100,000 monkey soldiers, made righteousness with 6 great demons, and then made a riot in the heavenly palace. Huakai carefully wrote the outline of Journey to the West in family space. Many things in my mind have to be changed at this time. The 3 realms belong to equal status here. Huakai conceived a new world. 10 days later, Huakai looked at the thick outline of Journey to the West in his hand and felt exhausted. Although he had downplayed many parts of the novel, the book could not be completed without more than 6 million words. And when the outline was completed, Huakai could feel the basic copywriting skills slightly moving. This time in Journey to the West, he added a lot of his own understanding of the power of the rules of heaven and earth, and he needed to describe a complete mythical world by himself. It's not that simple to come out. After completing the outline, Huakai left family space that day. He saw that the flower bud on the top of fortune grass seemed to have grown a lot, and it hadn't changed at all yesterday. Huakai, who originally wanted to start the creation of Journey to the West, couldn't help but feel interested at this time. He then sensed this rich grass and felt that it would be in full bloom in 2 days. Huakai didn't dare to take care of it. He checked the situation of fugi grass every few hours. At noon the next day, the buds had grown several times. It was the first time Huakai saw such a magical thing, that fugi grass compared with the fugi grass itself, the flower buds are a bit too huge. Huakai started to check one of the conditions of the fortune grass every half an hour, and in the early morning of the first day of February, he saw fortune flower finally blooming. The fist-sized fugi flower buds gradually bloom in the first ray of sunlight in the morning. When the sun rises, the fugi flower has bloomed to 1 foot in diameter, and the entire fugi grass is completely blocked by the blooming flowers. Huakai sat quietly next to the fortune flower and watched the fortune flower slowly blooming. The effect of the fortune flower that was not in full bloom was halved, and he watched the other party continue to expand. At this time around spiritual chi began to gather slowly toward Fuguewa. Huakai knew that the last moment might be coming. Several golden apes in the distance seemed to feel the anomaly here too. They stood far away in the swamp and looked at Huakai and Fuguewa. They were all oversized swamps, but they couldn't support their weight. Fuguewa, after all, it is only a 7th level elixir, and it has little effect on demonic beasts. It is just that some ordinary golden apes and brutal beasts are interested in him. Ordinary brutal beasts cannot come here, and ordinary golden apes cannot enter the swamp, so this wealth grass has been able to survive till now. Watching the rich flower gradually grow to the size of a millstone, the fascinating petals are extremely beautiful. They are so conspicuous in this swamp. Some insects began to wander around rich flower, and they greedily absorbed the spiritual chi here, and some even climbed rich flower want to eat its petals. Huakai drove these insects away, and saw some birds have already flown here. This rich flower must be in full bloom for 7 days. This is a necessary process for the growth of rich grass. Huakai picked the rich flower coming down. I feel that although this rich flower looks very large, it appears very light. He picked the rich flower and saw its bottom part withered rapidly, and in a short while, it completely lost its vitality. And the flying insects and birds around felt the disappearance of the fortune flower, and they all dispersed. When Huakai came out of the swamp, and saw the golden apes playing leisurely there in the distance, Huakai walked past them and they only took a short glance. Back with Yu Jun to the hidden big rock area where Huapeng was, Huapeng poked his head out of a small stone cave in the distance. He waited here for nearly half a month, and finally waited for Huakai and Yu Jun to return. Patriarch, you are back. Have you got the things? Huapeng said happily when he saw Huakai coming back. No one knows how hard he has been in the past half month. In addition to hiding the 3 horses, he must also be careful about the attack by demonic beasts. Seeing the time passing day by day, he didn't know how Wakai and Yujun were doing. Waiting for one more day would make him more uneasy. The things are in hand, let's go home quickly. This time is worthwhile, Wakai said with a smile. The flower of fortune, although it is only a 7-rank elixir, it is difficult to obtain it. Skyfire body forging pill. All the medicines have been gathered. This is the highest level elixir that the Hua family will refine, which is close to the elixir of elixir. Hua Peng took Wakai and Yujun to the hiding place of the horses, and the 3 rode back to Kuiji City. After meeting with Tang Lei and others, they rode northward, and arrived in Wu Kingdom a day later. As for the Ujumchin tribe, the Hautian atmosphere is still cold in February, the grassland has more than 1 meter of snow, and the sky is still snowing heavily. Urantuya was listening to several banner owners and patriarchs in the tent telling him about her tribe. Now many of them are almost reaching the limit. The tribe's stored green fodder has already been eaten last year, only relying on the Hua family to give it to him. Their food is still persisting. Princess, depending on the current situation, the heavy snow on the grassland may continue for another month. This year, more than half of our tribe's cattle and sheep died of freezing, and more than 10,000 slaves died of freezing and starvation. Now the food you support is also eaten. In a few days our tribe will really run out of food, can you ask the Hua family again? The speaker was a big tribe patriarch who took refuge in Urantuya, Shantian realm late-stage cultivation base. The tribe ranked in the top 4 in the entire Dayu clan. Today, he came to Urantuya, hoping to get some food. If their livestock were starved to death again, their tribal strength would be greatly reduced, and most of the slaves would have to give up. The other patriarchs and the banner owner of the Ujumchin tribe looked at Urantuya with anticipation. Didn't the 100,000 she of food that the Hua family just gave you all been divided? You have difficulties to find a way by yourself, don't come to me for anything. Warentuya is unwilling to take care of these tribes. The thing was that they begged to depend on themselves. She knew that these tribes didn't want to fight with her father and king, so she allowed them to take refuge, but this year she found out that accepting tribal refuge was also a very troublesome thing. Princess, our tribe has 300,000 cattle and sheep, and more than 50,000 horses. It takes more than 2,000 she to consume food every day. The 10,000 she food you give is only enough for 5 days. A patriarch looked at Warentu at this time. Ya lowered her head and said, Princess, you will be the mistress of the Hua family in the future. Tell the person in charge of the Hua family that you should give us more food and grass, preferably their special green fodder. The less we lose, it is not the loss of his Hua family. Is it less? A banner owner said quietly. Although he has a low voice, the worst person sitting here is the Zochin at the training level. Everyone can hear clearly. There is no custom of inheriting family property in the Dayu clan. If Urantuya marries in the future, if you don't want to continue to follow, you have to pay a great price. After hearing this, Urantuya was delighted, and he deliberately coldly said, the food of the Hua family is not blown by the strong wind, and it costs a lot to send it. I will ask Zhuang again, you will give it to the tribe. I will collect the elixir and the strange stones, the slaves and horses I will assign to you, and send them to the Ordos tribe after the beginning of spring. If anyone makes a mistake for me, don't come to me in the future. All the people below quickly assured that the horses and slaves needed by the Hua family would be safely sent to the Zongnu country after the beginning of the spring. Although Urantuya's realm was insignificant to all of them sitting there, all of them did not even dare to lift their heads in front of Urantuya. At this time, Warentuya's personal maid came in, and she glanced at everyone sitting there. Princess, Patriarch Hua has something to see, please. Then be here today, you all go back first, and I will send someone to notify when something happens. Urantuya said to everyone present. When everyone heard that Patriarch Hua had come to look for something, they didn't dare to delay the matter between Princess Urantuya and Huakai. They all got up and said goodbye. When they all left, the maid walked in with Zhuang. 58%. Chapter 329. I have seen Princess Warentuya. Zhuang entered the main account of Warentuya and bowed his head to salute Warentuya. How is your patriarch? Did you talk about me? Warentuya looked at Zhuang hopefully. I went to the south a few days ago and was buying food and green fodder in the southern countries of the Central Plains. He asked me to tell the princess. Because of the heavy snow this year, he may not be able to go to the Ujumchin tribe to marry the princess in May. Haodian Shui Chen will come to the tribe and give the princess 200,000 stone of grain and 1,000 square meters of ordinary green fodder. 1,000 cubic meters of green fodder is more than 3 million caddies, which is enough to save a lot of livestock in an emergency. With the addition of 200,000 stones of grain, she will be much better this winter. Hearing that Zhuang said that Huakai would come to the Ujumchin tribe in May, Yurantuya felt excited, but when she thought of her father's attitude, her face suddenly changed. The Great Moon Kingdom will launch a full-scale offensive against the Xiaoyu Kingdom this year. I have persuaded the father, but it will not help much. If Huakai comes in May this year, I will go find my father first, Wu Ren Tuya said. The second Zhuang took Huakai's words to Yurantuya and left. He collected elixir, strange stones and other things for the Hua family through Yurantuya. Now the medicine pill of the Azure Dragon Legion basically relies on the Ujamukan tribe and Ordos. The tribe supplies. Now he has been in the Ujumchin tribe for 2 years. This year he will go home with Huakai. Yurantuya went out of her own big tent, and went outside the tent of the chief Ujumchin but did not enter. Come in. What are you doing at the door? Patriarch Ujamukan passed from the tent. Yurantuya opened the thick curtain and entered the king's tent of the Ujumchin tribe. The chief of the Ujumchin tribe was thinking about something while sitting on the central throne. My dear daughter, what are you going to do in my father's account today? After the beginning of spring, our army will conquer the country of Xiaoyu. After this year, there will be no big or small Yushi on the grassland, only Yushi country, said the patriarch of the Ujumchin tribe. Father, this year's heavy snow has killed millions of cattle and sheep in the Great Moon Kingdom. There are only a few livestock seedlings left in the herdsmen's homes. After the beginning of the spring, it will be the time for the tribe to recover. If we conquer the Xiaoyu Kingdom now, no one go grazing, what shall we eat next year? At this time, the snow disaster of Xiaoyu's country is worse than ours, and they will definitely fight us desperately. Most of the grassland of the Xiaoyu Kingdom has been occupied by us. If we do not take advantage of the other side now, we will never be peaceful in our southern region after a few years. This year is the best opportunity to eliminate the Xiaoyu Kingdom. You must also send people to participate. You are also responsible for the prosperity of the Ujumchin tribe. When the chief Ujumchin said so, he was obviously dissatisfied. The expansion of his own power in Yurantuya of the Great Moon Kingdom was normal in the Ujumchin tribe. As the heir of the Ujumchin tribe, Yurantuya needs to take the rights of the tribe into her hands a little bit after adulthood. If most of the tribe chooses to take refuge early before she succeeds to the throne, she can even take over the throne in advance. I say this precisely for the tribe. Huakai told us about the Central Plains. The Central Plains may be facing a great catastrophe. The key to our silent accumulation of strength is now. Even if we take the Xiaoyu Kingdom now, our goal will be even greater when we border the Kingdom of Qin. You know better than me how powerful the Kingdom of Qin is. We have already won most of the land of the Kingdom of Xiaoyu. They are also willing to talk to us. Stop, father. Yurantuya said. Just like your mother, you can only see the size of the snow-capped mountains. Who said we want to be an enemy of Qin? Can't we be friends? Since you have decided to marry Huakai, then be your princess. After you get married, don't mix things up with the tribe. I will give you a dowry ready to wait. Ujumukan said dissatisfied. Hearing his father's dissatisfaction, Yurantuya is now more and more enthusiastic about rights. The mother has not returned to the tribe for a year, and the Snow Mountain Temple has not been worshipped for a long time. Yurantuya wanted to talk to her father about Huakai's welcoming marriage this year, but in the end she did not say that her father always wanted to be the greatest king of the Ujumchin tribe. Since his breakthrough foundation building, this kind of thoughts can no longer be suppressed. Returning to her account, Yurantuya saw a clouded leopard eating an unknown savage beast outside her account, and saw her coming and slowly walking towards her. Yurantuya touched the clouded leopard's head, and the other party gently rubbed her ears on her body. Thinking of the mother of the temple, Yurantuya put on the back of the clouded leopard. As the spirit beast of the foundation building, the clouded leopard has a lofty status in the tribe. This is one of the reasons why many tribes are willing to take refuge in her. When they came to the Snow Mountain Temple, a priest saw that the clouded leopard was coming, and opened the door of the temple for them. Now Yurantuya is also an intermediate priest. Your father, let him do it. After all, he is the king of the Great Moon Kingdom. Although I will not approve of the mother and queen, I will not stop it. Some people choose to take refuge in you because they think you are worthy of refuge. Even if you want to marry the Hua family, You are still the heir of the entire Dayu kingdom, and your father cannot change this. You should do your own things well, and when everything comes to the right place, the result will naturally be clear. As for Huakai's welcoming in May this year, the queen thinks that the time is not yet. Quote. Why is the time not? Yurantuya said anxiously. If you wait a year or two for the war of the Great Moon Kingdom to end, if we finally win the battle, you will become the sole heir to the most powerful country on the grassland and marry to Jaliu County. For the Mukan tribe, they are all grand events. What if we lose in the end? Your father king will lose his glory and status in the Dayu Kingdom, and the entire Dayu Kingdom will be handed over to you. Then you will be married to Jaliu County as the new king of the Dayu Kingdom, and the Wa family will help Uganda. The Chomokan tribe continues to survive on this grassland. The high priest of the Snow Mountain Temple looked at On's daughter with a smile. Yurantuya suddenly felt that the queen mother was not dissatisfied with the father and left, but their ideas were different. The queen mother is a wise man in the temple, she can't be wrong in what she said, but she still feels uncomfortable in her heart. Then, what if he is unhappy? Yurantuya has been persuaded by the high priest of the temple, but she still insisted. He has experienced more than you, and he will definitely understand the truth. As far as I know, Jaoyan County will not be peaceful this year. Daughter, you only need to wait at ease. The high priest of the temple looked out the window. The sky said softly. Huakai on February 6th, Huakai and everyone from the Wa family returned to Meili City in Wu State. The Wu family prepared another 300,000 shi of grain, and Huakai sent all the grain and green fodder to Shui Chen. Many of these green fodder were not fermented and sent by him. Give all the grass and green fodder to Shui Chen, and ask him to divide it into 3 parts and give it to Jaliu County, Ordos tribe, and Ujumukan tribe. In addition, give the Ordos tribe and Ujumukan tribe each 200,000 shi of food, so that they can spend it. There is no big problem in the last cold winter. On February 8th, Huakai and 11 people including Shui Pan, Tang Lei and Yu Jun began to go home. The south was still warm, and the farther north it was, the colder it became. It only took them 8 days to return to the territory of Qi, and it took them 2 more days to return to Weisung. After leaving Huacheng for a month and a half, except for some key members of the Hua family, many people did not know that so many Shantian realm cores had left Jaliu County. After finishing the class for all the students in the afternoon, Huakai returned to the own courtyard. Entering the family space pill refining room, Huakai watched Skyfire forging body pill recipe disappeared as the lighted up state that can be refined. The family luck value has now more than 11,000 points. Refining Skyfire body forging pill only 9,999 points are needed, and he clicks to refine it. After a burst of light, Huakai saw 4 medicine pills appearing in the synthesis column. All 4 medicine pills were crimsons, surrounded by high-level pill patterns, and pill energy continued to gush out from the pill. Huakai hurriedly took them with him. Space. Taking Skyfire bodybuilding pill is no better than ordinary medicine pill. Huakai must make all preparations. In case of a special physical condition, it can be saved. By February 19th, the snow in Weisung City had not dissipated. This year's winter was particularly long. Heavenly Horse Field Ne Huakai, Hua Xing, Hua Zichen, and Hua Fu were sitting in Shenzhou district in a meditation room. Huakai sat on the wind and fire futon. Grandpa, 5th uncle, Wu steward. Then I'm about to start. If you encounter uncontrollable situations later, you quickly enter the family space to escape. This time the effect of Skyfire bodybuilding pill will be better than any previous medicine. Pill must have a great effect. Huakai sat and exhorted. Several people looked at Huakai with a lot of worry. They watched Huakai swallow the Skyfire body forging pill and then closed their eyes, as if they were completely isolated from the outside world. Huakai's original aptitude has already reached the SS level, and now he has the wind-fire futon. He is still in the Shenzhou district. He feels that the power of will around him is extremely clear. As long as his mind is moved, the power of will around him will be follow-own mental energy. Tianwo body pill entering his belly, Huakai only felt a slight coolness at first. He tried to use True Qi to resolve it. As soon as True Qi met Tianwo body pill, the medicine pill burst out. A strong fire will entered his body, and Huakai felt like a fire burning all over his body for a while, and he could not make a sound. He tried to control Heavenly Horse Field. Spiritual Qi gathered to him. Spiritual Qi entered his body and instantly transformed into Shantian True Qi, constantly repairing body burns. His body burns had just been treated by Shantian True Qi, and a burst of fire will float into his body. Those burns had not been repaired yet, and the whole body injuries became more serious. He gritted his teeth and insisted on sending Shantian true chi to his whole body. Consciousness has all been placed on spiritual chi control. 58%. Chapter 330 The Will of Fire Forging Body. Hua Fu looked at Hua Kai's whole body red. He could feel the heat from Hua Kai's body 3 meters away. He couldn't help but looked at Hua Xing and Hua Zichen beside him with concern. There shouldn't be a problem. Kair has a strong willpower that is much higher than all of us. He realized that the 3-layer ice force is not comparable to the ordinary Shantian realm, and everything is still under his control now. Hua Xing said at this moment. Hua Zichen stood beside Hua Kai. In case there was something wrong with Hua Kai, perhaps only he, who was wearing the Babao knight armor, could approach and help a little bit. After the first wave of fire wool, Hua Kai felt a peculiar energy in his body to help own true chi continue to repair his injuries. This energy was transformed into endless special energy every time it passed. Spreading throughout his body, he felt that his body was being strengthened little by little. After a while, Hua Kai has adapted to this constantly emanating fire wool, and he is already able to let the body cultivator regain speed to keep up with the burn speed, and mental energy sinks all around Sky Fire Body Pill. Feel the changes in Sky Fire Body Forging Pill. This Sky Fire Body Forging Pill really deserves to be a 9th rank spirit pill. There seems to be endless energy inside. He tried to inject another trace of true chi into the Sky Fire Forging Body Pill, and he felt that Sky Fire Forging Body Pill released more fire wool, and Hua Kai gradually mastered how to guide the Sky Fire Forging Body Pill speed up the release of elixir properties. Hua Kai has been increasing the release of the medicinal properties of the Heavenly Fire Forging Body Pill, and the pain of his body can no longer affect him. Feeling the different forces continuously released in the medicine pill, they are in their own body through mutual repair and promotion. Tempering his body. Hua Kai tried not to use true chi to repair his body burns, and the repairing substance exuded from the Sky Fire Body Pill could complete the repair of his body burns, so he continued to inject true chi into the Sky Fire Body Pill. He felt he has become a stove. More and more the will of fire shuttled through his body. The damaged body was too late to be repaired, and was burned again. Hua Kai's eyebrows couldn't help but wrinkled, and the corners of his mouth showed a painful moan. At this time, Hua Kai felt that something in his consciousness was aroused. Ice will suddenly entered Hua Kai's body autonomously, and they encountered fire will colliding with Hua Kai's body. The previous burning, now that it has become an explosion, Hua Kai's body was severely damaged in an instant, and he couldn't help but spout a mouthful of blood from his mouth. Patriarch. Hua Xing and Hua Fu hurried forward, but were blocked by Hua Zichen. He seems to be in conflict between ice will and fire will in his body. Now I can't save him by anyone, so he can only adjust it slowly. Hua Zichen said. Although Hua Kai's body was seriously injured, his brain was very clear in this heavenly horse field. He gathered all the spiritual chi around him to follow his rules, and after his income was converted to true chi, he continued to repair the physical trauma, but this kind of spiritual chi, the repair simply couldn't keep up with the speed of destruction. He began to concentrate on guiding spiritual chi with mental energy regardless of his physical condition. This was the only thing he could do now. What Hua Zichen saw was that Hua Kai gathered all the spiritual chi in the heavenly horse field pattern to this position. Spiritual chi mist wrapped him in it, and they felt the breath of Hua Kai for a while. Strong for a while, weak. From the early morning to the evening, Hua Kai still wrapped himself in the thick spiritual fog and motionless. The three of Hua Zichen discussed taking turns to take care of Hua Kai, and the others went to rest. At this time, Heavenly Horse Field Hua Kai's small courtyard in Life Zone, Hua Zan stood at the door of Xiaoqiang's room and watched its body tremble. It seemed that it was experiencing some pain and called it no response for a long time. Hua Zan asked Hua Xing to inform him that Hua Xing had just returned to his yard and was called to the Heavenly Horse Field Life area not long after. Xiaoqiang is now likely to be promoted to Tier 6, everyone should not get too close to him. Kair is also at a critical time. Everyone must be prepared for all accidents. I will stay here for now. At night, Hua Xing felt a strong golden will spread out from Xiaoqiang's room, and the endless world of spiritual qi began to gather towards Xiaoqiang. Hua Xing came to the door of Xiaoqiang's room and saw Xiaoqiang standing on the ground looking at him. Xiaoqiang has been promoted successfully. Hua Kai didn't know the time outside. At first, he continued to absorb spiritual qi in order to survive. He slowly didn't know when. His mind could not help being completely immersed in the suppression of fire will, and waited until all fire will came from him. All his body disappeared before Hua Kai regained consciousness. Patriarch. It was the voice of the butler of Wufu. Hua Kai felt that the butler of Wufu was not far away. He opened his eyes and saw the other person looking at him with worry. How long has it been? Hua Kai has completely lost his sense of external time during the absorption of the Tianwo body pill. It has been 5 days. Are you okay with Patriarch? Hua Fu came to Hua Kai and asked when he looked at him. It's better than ever. Hua Kai replied with a smile. He felt that after being tempered by the fire wool, he felt many times stronger than before, and the burned body tissues have now been fully recovered. Ice force can now appear in every part of his body at any time in the corner. This made him another level of ascension to ice force. Moreover, the sky fire body forging pill in Hua Kai's belly seemed to be only a slightly smaller circle. He could feel that sky fire body forging pill had fallen into silence now, and it was estimated that it would take half a year to wait for it to erupt again. For the above time, this sky fire body forging pill may take more than 10 years to absorb it. The effect of the 9-rank spirit pill is terrifying. Its medicinal properties can be adjusted according to the needs of the user, and it is gradually absorbed in stages. Hua Kai opens the own property panel. Hua Kai. 9th floor of Shantian realm. Qualification. SS. Physique. 60. Strength. 62. Will. 68. Xuanbing Wool. 3rd level 87%. Resistance. Intermediate cold ice antibody 71%. Novelist. Everyone. Confucianism. Everyone. Taoism. Everyone. Mind method. Meditation Ju Tian level low level mind method great perfection. Marksmanship. Split air spear low level spearmanship of the heavenly rank great perfection. Saber technique. 18 swords yellow rank advanced saber technique complete. Mind method novelist the basic skills of copywriting the low-level mental method of heaven is great. Special mind method. Big dream ideas God level Xiao Cheng. Special skill. Real eye cannot be upgraded. All attributes of Hua Kai have reached more than 60 points. He has entered the Shantian realm. With his comprehension of 87% of ice wool on the 3rd floor, he can enter the half-step foundation building at any time. He is now ice force. Gathering the whole body. Strictly speaking, it has already begun the foundation building. Feeling that Xiaoqiang's mental power in his mind is much stronger, Hua Kai knows that it has finally broken through the 6th step. The 6th tier Xiaoqiang is not afraid even in the face of some demonic beasts, and now it is one of the high-end combat power of the Chinese family. Hua Kai got up and came out of the meditation room. He saw that the snow on Pingdingshan was melting. The snow this winter was half a month later than usual. Fortunately, the Hua family has green fodder and grain, which has survived the loss of livestock in Jialiu County. It's not very big. Seeing the Azure Dragon Corps soldiers practicing their riding skills at the racetrack, Hua Kai knew that these cavalrymen should return to their own regiment. This year, 1,000 people from the Azure Dragon Corps came to Weisang. A total of 4 people were promoted to Shantian, and 300 people were promoted to practice Qi. The 2 realized power of wool, and more importantly, most of them were not troubled by karma. Everyone has no problems with normal life. There are 1,000 Azure Dragon Legion horses in Weisang. More than 40 horses have been promoted to BMW, and 1 BMW is promoted to a horse. Hundreds of mares are pregnant with ponies. Their owners can only use another horse, and wait a year later for the mare to give birth to the foal before going on the battlefield with the owner. Hua Kai ate dinner, and it was time for him to give a lecture in the afternoon. All the students were very happy when they saw Hua Kai finally appeared. They knew that the winter snow was melting, and it was time for them to leave. Perhaps it is the reason why I have started foundation building. Today, Hua Kai can easily introduce everyone's thinking into his own point of view. Everyone listens carefully to Hua Kai's teachings. Hua Kai draws everyone to what he said in the world. There were 2 more aerodynamic breakthroughs on the spot. Looking at the students below, they have about 3 levels of strength in the Hua Family Military Academy, Ascension, and the number of breakthroughs is about 30%. The loyalty has been around 80 when they first came, and now everyone has reached 91 points or more. What I learned here is not only the ability to kill the enemy, but also the strengthening of the inner world. Returning to the own courtyard at night, Hua Kai saw Xiaoqiang's room and chatted with it intimately for a while. Xiaoqiang is now no worse than ordinary people in intelligence, and he constantly expresses his feelings towards his master to Hua Kai. You are now tier 6 too. You should be able to control yourself, and you will follow me in the future. If I disappear, you can just wait where you are. If you are not obedient, then you can stay in Huacheng forever. Hua Kai said to Xiaoqiang. Xiaoqiang is now more than 7 years old. What Hua Kai worries about it most is the kind of desperate way of killing the enemy. It will be injured every time he plays. Hua Kai can only leave him at home and Hua Zan can take care of it. Now that it has been promoted to Tier 6, Hua Kai is ready to start the foundation building, and there are not many opponents who will let Xiaoqiang meet crazy, so Hua Kai decided to take him. At night, Xiaoqiang slept in the wing next to Hua Kai's bedroom. It would come out every moment and turn its head to see if Hua Kai was there. Today Hua Kai has agreed to take it with him in the future, which makes it happy that he can't be quiet. But it didn't dare to disturb Hua Kai, and the whole body began to tremble with excitement. Hua Kai entered the family space, and no one in the family appeared for a few days. Everyone was worried about him. Hearing Hua Kai said that he had entered the Shantian realm and was preparing for the foundation building, everyone was excited. 59%. Chapter 331 Spirit Pill Distribution. Patriarch, Princess Warentuya asked me to give you a message. This year, the war between the Dayu Kingdom and the Xiaoyu Kingdom is inevitable. Patriarch Wujumukin is desperate to wipe out the Xiaoyu Kingdom completely this year. Wuren Princess Tuya hopes that your wedding can be postponed until after the war. Hua's food and green fodder have been handed over to Warentuya. The Wujumukin tribe is under the snow-capped mountains, and the winter is longer than that of Jialiu County. Hua Kai and Hua's Shantian are mainly in the south for 2 allies, the Ordos tribe. With the Ujumchin tribe, but this material was just delivered to the Ujumchin tribe, but such news came. We all know about the situation in the Dayu Kingdom. After the success of the foundation building, the Ujumchin Patriarch's ambitions have grown, but all Ujumchin herdsmen know that the rights of the Ujumchin tribe are actually in the temple. In the hands. Therefore, after the Ujumukin clan ruled the entire Dayu clan, he must complete his own grand aspiration as soon as possible, so this year is really not a good opportunity for the Hua family to get married with the Ujumchin tribe. Hua Kai seems not at all about this. Satisfied, everyone sees Hua Kai's attitude and no longer talks about it. Let them take care of the affairs of the Ujumchin tribe. In any case, Urantuya's status in the Dayu country will not be weakened at all. Second strong, you will stay in the Ujumchin tribe for 1 more year. Continue to trade with Warentuya, try to collect elixir and strange stones and send them home. And we have a lot of things this year. Many people in Beishan will be moved back to Jialiu City in a few days. Tens of thousands of families in Jialiu City will soon be added to Beishan. Second uncle, when the snow stops, set up the defense checkpoints of the cottages as soon as possible. We must control all the inhabited areas of Beishan and draw all the road maps of Beishan, so as to make emergency retreats when encountering powerful enemies. According to the plan, Beishan's business district will be established as soon as possible. Hua Kai said. Hua Ziji nodded. Last year, he brought thousands of Wahia family members. Now he has taken the entire Beishan under control based on the Yamazai and other cottages. Last winter, Hua Zichin used Lingbei to send 200,000 shi of grain to Beishan. Now all the cottages in Beishan have shown their loyalty to the Wahia with the help of Wahia food. All the cottages have agreed to the Wahia's adaptation this year. Patriarch, the Zongnu country has suffered a very serious snow disaster this year. The Ordos tribe has us to help this winter with little loss. They also rescued some affiliated tribes and wooed 2 large tribes. Now the Ordos tribe controls the southern region and its power has surpassed the northern region. I am worried that the other party will jump over the wall in a hurry this year and behead the Ordos tribe. The Northern Alliance now has about 14 people in the Shantian realm, 1 in the foundation building realm, and 11 in the Shantian realm in the southern Ordos tribal control area, but there is no foundation building realm. Now it seems that the Northern Alliance has a great chance of tearing its face. They need find a way to solve the losses caused by the heavy snow this year. Shui Chen looked at Hua Kai at this time. The predicament of the Ordos tribe has always existed. The main problem is that they do not have a foundation building environment, and all other methods are just delaying time. The opponent has to choose a decisive battle. If Patriarch Tifa chooses to escape, the advantage he has gained now will no longer exist. For the crisis of the Ordos tribe, we cannot help directly, because if we dispatch all the Shantian realms, the entire Huns will think that we are going to invade the grasslands. This is a big trouble. Give the other party another clear body pill and Xuanbing pill. If he still can't start foundation building this time, then the chance of foundation building in this life is not great. You all know that when we went to the south this time, it took half a month to refine a kind of spiritual pill. This time, I was able to enter the Shantian realm to Dzogchen because of this medicine pill. Quote. Hua Kai said that everyone's eyes widened. Who wouldn't want a spirit pill that can directly enter the Shantian realm for Dzogchen? Everyone looked at Hua Kai and continued to speak. This medicine pill is called Sky Fire Body Pill. It is mainly for the physical fitness of ascension, and there is a chance to understand fire will. A total of 4 pills are refined. I took 1 and 3. Everyone thinks these 3 how to distribute the Sky Fire Body Forging Pill. Our Hua family needs Sky Fire Body Forging Pill Fast Ascension Strength. Hua Kai said. I understand Golden Wool, Sky Fire Body Forging Pill should be given to others. Old Father Hua Xing said first. It's not cost effective for me to take Tianwo bodybuilding pill. My physique belongs to my strength, and I also understand Golden Will. Hua Zichen said secondly. I have the Earth Spirit Orb, and I have understood the Earth Will, I don't need this spirit pill. Hua Mo also said. Hua Zili looked anxious when he heard his son say this, but it was a spiritual pill that could enter the foundation building realm. If only the qualifications were mentioned, Hua Mo was most likely to obtain it. Although Hua Mo's attitude towards his father has improved in recent years, he has also built a new yard for himself in Huacheng, which has already been separated from Hua Zili. When he saw his father winking at himself, he didn't think he had seen it. I don't need it anymore, Shui Pan said and glanced at his own son. If he wins this spirit pill, then his son will definitely not have the chance. Huakai can't give each of their father and son one Sky Fire Forging Body Pill. Seeing everyone's attitude, Huakai turned his gaze to Grandpa. Grandpa, who do you think should be given to these 3 spirit pills? When Hua Xing saw Huakai inquiring about himself, he settled down, and then slowly spoke when he saw everyone looking at him. Sky Fire Forging Body Pill is much more precious than Golden Body Pill and Xuanbing Pill. After half a step after taking it, I have entered the foundation building. It can be said to be the pillar of our Hua family in the future. If we follow our qualifications, look, Shui Chen, Lao Wu, Mo Er, Yu Er, Tang Lei, Shui Pan, Hua Peng, Hua Mi, the 10th youngest of the Hua family, are the most suitable. From the perspective of loyalty to the Chinese family, Zhuang, Qing Jirtai, and Han Jinsheng should also have a chance. Quote. Hua Xing said so, everyone nodded. There are only 3 Sky Fire Forging pills, and now we can only consider people who don't understand power of rules. The first one is given to Shui Chen. You have the worst physique recently, and taking Sky Fire Forging Body pills will benefit the most. After taking it, enter Shantian directly through breakthrough, and it should be no problem to enter Shantian middle stage. The second one was handed over to Tang Lei, who was highly qualified and injured many times for his family in recent years. This Sky Fire Body Forging Pill can make his physique ascension to the level of foundation building, and it will not be difficult to deal with foundation building in a half step in the future. The last one. Take it for the second strong. It has been a few years since you entered the realm of Dzogchen, but your qualifications are far worse than true geniuses. It will not be too late if you meet the heavenly and mortal treasures ascension qualifications in the future. The 2 Sky Fire Body Forging pills that Hua Kai said were handed over to Shui Chen and Zhuang. Tang Lei could not enter family space. He needs to hand it to Tang Lei tomorrow. The 2 took the pill and looked at the pill pattern surrounding the pill. A trace of pill aura radiated from the medicine pill. This is the result of the family's hard work over the years, and it is handed over to them today. It represents not only strength. It is more responsibility and pressure. This year, there is no need to go to the Dayu Kingdom to greet relatives. The specific time will be notified. Everyone left family space to rest, leaving only the second uncle to be on duty today and stay in the space. In the early morning of the next day, Xiaoqiang's barking broke the tranquility of Heavenly Horse Field. Hua Kai went out and Xiaoqiang wagged his tail to follow behind him, turning around him excitedly, and saw Hua Kai looking at him. Xiaoqiang hurriedly be quiet, he didn't want Hua Kai to leave it at home. When I arrived at the campus, the snow in Huacheng was only a day away, and it has almost disappeared. This year is the day when 1,000 students graduated from the first phase of the Wahia Military Academy, winter. They all stood quietly on the campus waiting for Huakai's arrival. Huakai reiterated the Azure Dragon Corps duties in Jialiu County on the stage. He issued a diploma to everyone with detailed information about each of them, as well as Huakai's entrusted words to them. Every time a person is issued a graduation certificate, Huakai checks their attributes and gives them suggestions for the future. All the students write down carefully. These suggestions are mostly their own shortcomings. Sending all the students down the mountain, watching the other party leave Huakai and then returning to the Heavenly Horse Field own yard, Tang Lei was already waiting at his door at this time. Tang Lei had already returned to Leopard Jade Pass yesterday. He received the news that he rode his own blood BMW back to Huacheng this morning. Huakai intends to let him take Heavenly Fire Body Pill in Heavenly Horse Field, which allows the other party to absorb the elixir and medicine faster. Taking Tang Lei to the sitting room in Shenzhou District, Huakai took out the Wind Fire futon and let him sit on it, and then handed the Sky Fire Forging Body Pill to the opponent. Tang Lei obeyed Huakai's instructions to take the Spirit Pill, and a little bit urged True Qi to let Sky Fire Body Pill release the Spirit Medicine Pill, and Huakai mobilized Spiritual Qi in Heavenly Horse Field to supplement his own needs. Tang Lei's face quickly turned red, and the effect of the Tianhuo Body Pill began to take effect. Tang Lei sat for 7 days. In the evening of the first day, Huakai had already felt that Tang Lei was communicating with the rules of fire will in Shenzhou District. On the 7th day, he waited for his eyes again. When opening, Huakai checked Tang Lei's attributes. Tang Lei, the 5th floor of Shantian Realm. Will of Fire, Level 1, 79%. Qualification, S+. Physique, 63. Strength, 56. Will, 55. Loyalty, 18. Mind Method, Meditation Ju Tian Level Low Level Mind Method Dachang. Marksmanship, getting started with Split Air Spear, Sky Level Low Level Marksmanship. Saber Technique, Great Wind 18 Swords, Advanced Saber Technique, Great Perfection. Talent, Natural Supernatural Power, Super Recovery. Loyalty, 100. Tang Lei didn't have much realm ascension. He entered the 5th floor of the Shantian realm because he was originally the strongest physique. However, looking at his aptitude, Huakai found that his aptitude was actually a small rank in ascension. Sky Fire Body Forging Pill has a hint. There is a chance of ascension qualification. Huakai didn't take it seriously. He didn't expect Tang Lei to really ascension qualification. In addition, Tang Lei's fire will has now reached the first level, 79%, and his strength is much greater than that of ascension before, and he cannot be regarded as an ordinary Shantian intermediate. 59%. Chapter 332 The Prosperous Jialiu City. Tang Lei's strength was breakthrough, and Shui Chen also appeared in the family space that night after absorbing the Sky Fire Body Forging Pill. Shui Chen, Shantian Realm 4th Floor. Qualification, SS+. Physique, 54. Strength, 58. Will, 64. Will of Fire, Level 2, 13%. Resistance, Primary Fire and Ice Antibody, 28%. Taoism, everyone. Yin and Yang's family, everyone. Confucianism, scholars. Mohist school, students. Talent skills. Never forget, draw inferences from one another, plan tactics, understand the mind. Mind method. Meditation formula, low-level mental method of the heavenly rank consummation. Marksmanship. Split air spear, sky level low-level spears, Dachang. Shui Chen entered the Shantian realm with a breakthrough in the realm of training Qi and Zouchen. His physique increased by 5 points, and he was still the weakest of the 3 attributes. He is extremely talented and has a strong willpower, and don't worry about his aptitude SS plus vigor value. Now the Sky Fire Body Pill will have the fastest physical ascension speed. It is conceivable that his ascension speed will be terrifying. Degree. You worked too hard. In the future, build more strength and wait until your body is fully adapted before urging Sky Fire Body Pill. Realm ascension is already very fast when you are only 19 years old this year, so try to make less moves in the future. Huakai looked at Shui Chen's appearance. The body hasn't recovered, so he said to him. Patriarch, I know. Now I have some ability to protect our stronghold. Last year, the Ujumchin tribe sent 20,000 horses and 15,000 slaves to the Ordos tribe. In addition, we spent a year in the harvest of the Huns. Is still not easy for our caravan this year. Shui Chen said. This year, the Chinese business group does not need to drive cattle and sheep. It is much easier than last year to go to the business year. Our business group will still have the Shantian realm to lead the team this year. You will stay in the Ordos tribe for another year. There may be a lot of teams. We already have control of Beishan. Donghu's threat to the caravan is greatly reduced, and you may be back next year. Huakai said. This year, the Chinese business groups don't have to rush like that. Just after the snowstorm on the grasslands, the number of cattle and sheep in all tribes has been greatly reduced. This year it is not appropriate to bring cattle and sheep. Therefore, as long as the end of July goes back and forth, the Chinese business group can train slaves in the Ordos tribe for 2 more months this year, so that they can return on horseback faster. 2 days after Shui Chen was promoted to Shantian, the second Zhuang was also successfully promoted to Shantian. The second Zhuang only had a level of qualification. This time he was promoted to level 2 of the Shantian realm and his physique reached 56 points. It will be more and more difficult for him to ask for Ascension Realm in the future. I couldn't help thinking of how to find some heaven and earth spirit treasures that could increase his aptitude. Heaven and earth spirit treasures that can increase their aptitude are extremely precious to any family. Their first choice is to give them to the best young people in the family, and they rarely leave options for sale. Even if they don't use it, they will give it to the sect leader family for benefits, so if you want to buy spirit treasures that increase your qualifications, it's not enough to have money. Huakai has been in contact with the Chamber of Commerce of the Four Seas for a long time, and asked the other party to pay attention to whether there is any spirit treasure to increase their qualifications. As a result, after so many years, there is still no news. Huakai feels that he should change the way of obtaining spirit treasures. Time soon enters mid-March. Jialiu City is still in the construction stage this year. Many people have been busy for a year. Many families have prepared everything for this year's business. Several families have unified and sent Jia's family this year. In the list of goods, the Jia family has seen that the goods they bring will be with the destination, and after issuing the route guide voucher, these small business groups set off. This year Beishan has been occupied by Jialiu County, and there is no threat outside the Leopard Yuguan. Therefore, Jialiucheng is not strict with the business review this year. There are more business teams in Jialiucheng this year than last year. In the morning, a group of carriages swayed in the south of Jialiu City. There were about hundreds of people, and it looked like a small business group. When they walked outside the gate of Jialiu County, they formed a group but did not enter the city. At this time, a group of defenders on the wall came out of the gate and came towards them. "What do you guys do? Why don't you go in outside the city?" The team leader looked at each other warily. Several soldiers. "We are a small caravan. I heard that the Leopard Jade Pass will be able to leave this year. Let's try our luck. We don't show respect for a little bit of silver. Please accept it." Circumstances took out a piece of broken silver about 2 taels, smiled and handed it to the guard captain. "Our Black Tortoise Legion has a rule that you can't take anyone's things at will. Do you want me to be expelled from the Legion?" The team leader looked like a prairie man in his 30s. "This Army Lord, Gao Liucheng still has this rule. This is much more prosperous than before," the caravan leader said cautiously. "Isn't that? It doesn't matter who this Jialiu County belongs to. Our Chinese family is the best to the people. We never bully the caravan. You can go into the city and have a look. If you have something for sale, no one will buy it at the door." When the team leader heard the other party talking about Gao Liucheng, his face was proud. No one could see the changes in Gao Liucheng in the past few years. It was a monthly change. "Are you still from the Hua family? What a disrespect." The person in charge said that the guard captain's face flushed. "I used to be a householder in the Hua family for 3 years. It's also good to be a housekeeper. These military masters, we are all small families. This year I heard that the Baoyuguan was able to leave, so we raised money to purchase some goods, and we didn't have much money on them, so we couldn't get into the city." The city captain was also kind, so he couldn't help but say, "It turns out that you don't come in because you are afraid of receiving city fees. We in Jialiu City do not charge city fees. If you enter the city to the east, you will see a big market, which is dedicated to all the caravans passing by. You can inquire about the recent commodity prices of various places in the grassland there, where you can also sell the commodities in your hand. The big markets are very cheap to eat and live in. You can go in and have a look," the team leader suggested. The person in charge of the business group hesitated when he heard that he had to be careful when he went to business abroad. It stands to reason that this Jialiu County belongs to Guan, and there is no danger in ordinary cities, but seeing this small captain's face of the grassland ethnicity, he looked back at the other caravan leaders behind him. "Go in and take a look. So many people come in and out," said a caravan leader. "Anyway, don't go to the city fee, let's go in and have a look." The person in charge saw the huge city of Jialiu in the distance, which seemed to be a civilized city in the Central Plains, and immediately became less worried. The captain of the city defense team saw everyone in the merchant group looking at him with a vigilant face, and went back to the city angrily. You wait outside first, I'll go in and see. If there is no problem, we will bring the merchant group in. After the Chi training realm finished speaking, the others nodded. The moment he walked into Jialiu City, the person in charge of the business group was stunned by the sight in front of him. There were rows of lively streets in front of him, because Huakai placed all the ordinary shops in the outer city, which was not as prosperous as it was. Central Plains big city. There are clear signs on the side of the road, how to go to the market, where to go to the mule market, where to go to the slave trade, and the direction of the inner city. The person in charge of the business group entered the commercial area and saw that there were stalls selling snacks everywhere. He walked in and reached the food city. Looking at the pedestrians coming and going here, the person in charge thought he was in Jicheng. Lamb soup. Lamb soup, a bowl of 4 bone coins. Soy pie. Delicious pie. The streets were full of screams. Some tea houses heard the sound of booktellers, and there was a lively cheering when they talked about the good things. After more than an hour without knowing it, the person in charge of the business group still did not finish half of the Jialiu City outer city. He remembered that the foreign business group was still waiting for him, so he left Jialiu City and returned to his business group. Why did you come back? Did anyone embarrass you in the city? Someone hurriedly asked when the caravan leader came back. This city of Jialiu is really strange. I haven't been here before. Now there are wooden buildings everywhere in this city, and it's lively inside. Said the person in charge. That's not better. Go, let's go in and take a look. By the way, have you seen the big market in Jialiucheng? Do you accept everything? Is it profitable for us to send things here? A caravan asked his head. I just watched their food festival just now, and I haven't had time to go to the big market. The head of the business group blushed. Let's go, we have been waiting for so long and no one in the city brought food to sell. The people in this city must be rich. We know everything when we get to the city. Someone said impatiently. The merchant group began to organize a carriage and slowly drove towards Jialiu City. At the gate, a guard guided them to walk the carriageway. They walked into Jialiu City and were blocked by a team of inspection guards. Isn't it saying that you don't want to go to the city? What are you doing? A business group looked at the defending army to get started, and hurriedly asked. We don't need to pay the entrance fee in Jialiu City, but not everything can be entered. The Chinese family stipulates that all books entering the grassland must be strictly censored, and the original slaves are not allowed to go to the grassland, and the divine armament above the 6th rank is not allowed to go. Grassland. The team leader said to them. Your business group is the kind of caravan that can buy books and divine armament. It can be checked. You have to be lighter. A business group stepped forward. The inspection passed quickly, and the merchant group was carrying some grain, linen, coarse cloth, coarse salt, low-grade weapons, etc., but nothing of good quality. Entering Jialiu City, more than 20 carts of the merchant group followed the signs and came to the big market. This was a large open space before. Many caravans have gathered here, and the scene looks very lively. Are there any food sellers? A stone of 780 bone coins. A young man hurriedly stepped forward when they saw them coming. A young man in the trade group heard the I move here. The food they bought was all 300 bone coins. You can make a lot of money here. A man next to him pushed him here when he saw it. Cannot let people easily see through the depth of own. Is there any linen? How much is a horse of 16 silver? Gao Liucheng's novels and stories are available in both Huns and Huns. The grassland is very popular, and each set only costs 1 gold and 15 silver. Gao Liucheng fine wine, the cheapest price is only 15 bone coins per caddy, and at least a cylinder of 50 caddies. 59%. Chapter 333 King Lu's Visit. This year is the second year that Baoyuguan can conduct business. The number of merchant groups in Jialiu City has increased. In a few days in mid-March alone, there were more than 10 merchant groups in Jialiu City. They entered after the Jialiucheng big market. Most of them sold their own goods to the market acquisition area, and then bought a large amount of fine wine, refined salt, refined cloth, sugar, snacks, etc. to the grassland. When these caravans arrived here, they found that the wine and refined salt in Takaliu City were very cheap. Compared with the food they brought, these things could make the most profit. In order to reduce the risk of trading, some merchants even sold all the goods. After selling it to Jialiucheng, he went back to Yan or Qi to buy goods. If they can deliver to Jialiucheng twice this year, and bring some goods back from Jialiucheng, the profit will be no less than going to the grassland. Huakai has recently become more relaxed in Huacheng. The military academy's students are still more than 2 months away from reporting. Beishan and Takaliu are left alone. The fifth uncle sits at Leopard Yuguan and occasionally returns to Huacheng. Shui Pan takes now that the owner of the Azure Dragon Legion has returned to Leopard Yuguan, all the construction and defense work of Beishan will be handed over to the second uncle Hua Zili. The general direction has been determined, and the second uncle only needs to implement it step by step. He upgraded his horses every day in Huacheng, and took Xiaoqiang to the west side of Pingdingshan for a round of inspections. When he encountered wild beasts, he killed them. When he came home, he realized the various cultivation techniques obtained from the country of Lu. Recently, he let all the core members of the family have to comprehend these mental methods or martial skills. Whoever comprehends first enters the Wu Jing Jai upgrade. Up to now, all mental methods and martial skills have been upgraded. In the afternoon, he returned to his small courtyard, Xiaoqiang lying at his feet. Hua Kai began to meditate on the meditation Ju in the courtyard, guiding his true qi to combine with his own ice wool, and then slowly entering the body so that the whole body is familiar with this feel. There are two ways of foundation building. One is to use the power of will of the spirit treasure of heaven and earth to enter the sea of own consciousness, and then control these power of will to wash every cell until all parts of the body have remembered this power of will. Then they will circulate in the body in a certain way, and then the body and consciousness will be completely integrated, entering a subtle realm that uses willpower to control true qi. And the other way is of course to comprehend the power of will by myself, and then let own power of will into the whole body. This method is the simplest, but if foundation building is to succeed, it needs to constantly remodel the body, and the speed is also the fastest. Slow. Huakai has 3 layers of ice force, and the foundation building is naturally not slow. He has already familiarized the whole body with ice force in just half a month, and has made his whole body branded with ice force mark. Now he can only continue to transform, waiting for the ice willpower to form a self-circulation in his body, then he will succeed in the foundation building. Opening his eyes, Hua Kai also felt the changes in his body. Although his attributes have not increased, the use of power, ice power, has become much simpler than before. Now, every move he goes out, he will naturally take ice power and receive an attack. It can also use ice force to resist faster and more effectively. In the evening, Hua Kai lay on the bed and entered the space of big dream view ideas. His dream was an endless void. Some illusory creatures were wandering in the void. Suddenly, the scene before him turned into a palace, which looked magnificent and majestic. Countless beautiful fairies in the palace passed by, and the camera disappeared before long. Hua Kai is reciting the basic copywriting skills mind method world for the last time. Journey to the West revision of the outline, and every time I enter the dream view idea sleeping dream space operation basic copywriting skills mind method, Hua Kai always finds something about the novel and reality the world setting is different. He will correct it when he finds it out. It's a pity that this time I imagined the outline of Journey to the West. Hua Kai's basic copywriting skills and the novel world presented by the mental method is very vague. If he thinks about the mental energy, he consumes a lot of things. It seems that it is not so easy to write a novel that fits this world completely, but now that I have decided to do it, I must write Journey to the West well. If Journey to the West is written, I will definitely become a novelist. At that time, I am not afraid of ordinary people in the foundation building environment. Hua Kai thought. When it was about to dawn, Hua Kai only changed a few small scene outlines in one night. He entered the big dream viewing ideas sleeping space and did not think about the Journey to the West outline this time. Hua Kai woke up again 2 hours later. It became energetic. I rode the Black Eagle in the racecourse for a while. In the past 6 months, Black Eagle stayed at the Heavenly Horse Field as a stallion. Unhappy. Seeing Wufu's butler waiting for him, Hua Kai dismounted and walked over. Patriarch, Wu Yi was looking for you in the space just now, saying that Monarch Lu has already arrived in Jialiu City, and he wants you to go to Jialiu City. Wufu butler said to Hua Kai. Wang Lu, he actually came to Jialiu County himself. It seems that there should be good news. Hua Kai smiled when he heard this. Last winter, Hua Kai helped the Lu family to quickly master most of the domestic families in the Lu family. Now the Lu family has become extremely mysterious. Many families have come into contact with them, wanting to exchange divine armament or ascension family cultivation technique. King Lu definitely hopes to strengthen cooperation with Hua Kai, and this time he can also take a look at his daughter and grandson. Hua Kai rode to Jialiu City. After entering the inner city of Wufu, he first went to see his mother, then put down Luma and went to the Wushu compound. There were hundreds of maids and servants in the Wushu courtyard, and there were also more than 200 at the Dinghaiyuan. They saw Huakai coming and hurriedly welcomed him into the inner courtyard. Huakai was the master of Washington. Princess Jila is basking in the sun with a maid holding 2 little babies. Hua Zichen and Wang Lu looked at the 2 little guys with a smile. The 2 little guys who are half a year old can now interact and play with others. Patriarch is here. Princess Jila first saw Huakai and said, "Aunt Fifth, you don't need to be polite to hold the little brother. I haven't seen 2 little brothers for a long time. They are already so big." Huakai touched the hands of the 2 little guys. The other party seemed to know that Huakai was his own relative, and faced him. Jumped for joy. "You take the kids down first. The 3 of us are talking." Hua Zichen looked at Jila and said to her. Princess Jila and the maid brought 2 little guys into the inner room. The maid and the guards in the entire yard soon disappeared. The Patriarch and King Lu arrived at the same time, so they couldn't keep it here. The Hua family only took more than 2 years to build Jialiu City into such a state. It is really unimaginable. Compared with Chufu City, it is not much worse. Wang Lu said sincerely, looking at Huakai. Gao Liucheng has spent countless human and financial resources in the past few years to achieve the scale it is today. Compared with Chufu City, it is far worse. In the last few days, all the cultivation techniques that need to be upgraded have also been upgraded. This is the upgraded cultivation technique. Check it. Huakai said that when he stretched out his hand, more than 20 small notebooks appeared in his hands. There is nothing to check. I came to Takaryu County in secret this time mainly for 3 things. The first is that the elixir that you want to increase your qualifications has fallen. The Patriarch of Zheng Guoshan's family has always had a good relationship with me. This time I heard that I had acquired a peerless sword, so I hope to have a sword used in the late stage of the foundation building. He is a soil attribute and is accustomed to using thick swords. Moyu Weishin Vine exchange with it, but 5 divine armaments for Zochin in the Shantian realm have to be added. Wang Lu said to Huakai with a smile. Moyu Weishin Vine is one of Ascension's most qualified genius treasures, and it has appeared in many places in the Central Plains. And Moyu Weishin Vine is easy to save, and it is one of the heavenly and mortal treasures that the big family loves to collect. How long as this Moyu Weishin Vine can be consumed by a few people? It is impossible to order the top sword Moyu Weishin Vine without it. Huakai said. Treasure weapon can increase the combat power of the foundation building, and Moyu Weishin Teng, even if it is precious, it can only increase the aptitude of a person. For a family, aptitude does not necessarily turn into combat power, and treasure weapon allows their family to pass on. Millennium. This Moyu Weishin Vine, I have seen it as a spirit quencher that has been over 1,000 years old. It should be enough for 3 people to take it. It should be enough for a top-level sword, said Wang Lu. Huakai nodded after hearing this. He often studied all the pill recipes with ascension qualifications in the pill refining room. Among them, there is a pill recipe Weishin pill, which belongs to a special 7-level spirit pill, and the main medicine is Mo Yuhuixin Teng. After taking it, it will have an effect on the qualifications below S, which is what the Wahia needs most urgently. For the second thing, many families in Qi State secretly contacted the Lu family. They hope to accumulate more strength before the world is in chaos. They need a lot of Baodin and divine armament, and they also need to upgrade the family cultivation technique. Most of their cultivation techniques it is above the ground level, some even reach the early stage of the sky. Can they be upgraded? Wang Lu asked. The price to be paid to upgrade the cultivation technique is unimaginable. Perhaps they will not be enough to sell all their own territory. Huakai said. Don't worry about this. If you really need to upgrade the celestial cultivation technique, the cost should be as much as you want. Although the Lu family will also benefit from this transaction, it should be the Hua family's benefit, and I will not touch it at all. Moreover, the Lu family will only look for those allies who have been in close friendship for many years, so that we will have a chance to live in the troubled times in the future together. Wang Lu said to Huakai. Huakai nodded and motioned to King Lu to say the third point. The young horses of Lu State, I hope I can buy a lot of good horses in Jialiu County. Many voices in this year were talking about the good quality of horses in Jialiu County. Our Lu State also formed a business group this year, which will be available in May. When you arrive in Jialiu City, you can sell more good horses. The words of King Lu indicate that they are indeed preparing for the battle. The role played by the cavalry in battle is far beyond that of infantry. However, the Hua family has continuously upgraded the horses through Huakai and others. The quality of horses in Jialiu County has been improved. Ascension a lot. 59%. Chapter 334. A comprehensive cooperative relationship. The reason why King Lu did this, Hua Kai and Hua Zichen both understood that the Hua family had insufficient background and could not show up to do some things on their own, but the Lu family could reap big benefits from it, and both sides had all the foundations for cooperation. Cooperation is okay, but the divine armament and Baodin provided by Wahia are not unlimited supply. Wahia has to develop its own strength. In the future, Lujia and Wahia cannot expose everything about Wahia. This is fundamental. What needs to be paid after Wahia will complete it as soon as possible. Huakai also agrees to cooperate with the Lu family, which allows the Hua family to slowly reach into the Central Plains. Being in Jialiu County is definitely not the Hua family's everlasting plan. Everyone knows that the core area of the Central Plains has a good climate, flat land, and few wild animals. King Lu also agreed to Huakai's request. In the future, the Hua family's transaction partner was only King Lu, and the others had nothing to do with the Hua family. After discussing the future transaction method with Huakai, King Lu went back to the inner room and watched his two grandchildren for a while, then bid farewell to Princess Jila, and left on horseback alone. Why do you agree to cooperate with Lu Guo? Hua Zichen looked at Hua Kai and asked in a puzzled way. In the past, the Hua family regarded all the family secret realm space as the core secrets of the Hua family, and no one could mention or disclose it. This time Huakai took this step, and it is inevitable that it will be noticed by the first-rank family. How difficult it is for ordinary aristocratic families to develop. This is mostly due to the suppression of other aristocratic families by the major families. We are now in a good position in Jialiu County. Apart from Donghu, there are basically no enemies. The Central Plains War is also the furthest away from us. If the Central Plains is chaotic, it is the best time for our Chinese family. Development requires talents and materials. Although the Wahia has no shortage of basic materials, the accumulation of Lingbao, Link and other things is still far behind the big family. Taking advantage of these opportunities, we can quickly supplement our own shortcomings, or even if the opportunity comes. Now, we do not have the strength to grasp the opportunity. This is a rare opportunity. The big family focuses on the next battle. As long as we don't do too conspicuously, no one will pay attention to a Chinese family in Jialiu County. As long as we develop fast, they will wait for the first-rank family to react. It's impossible to suppress it. Quote. Hua Kai said to his fifth uncle Hua Zichen. Hua Zichen couldn't help but shocked. Huakai's goal is to be a chess player in this world, so that the Hua family will have a better living environment. After a few years of quietly trading with the Lu family, the elixir, strange stones, and cultivation technique acquired by the Hua family will enable the family members to be able to ascension. Several times. Why did you choose Lu? Hua Zichen looked at Hua Kai and said. He knew that Huakai never chose to cooperate with Lu because King Lu was the owner. Many seemingly random things eventually became the most important point of the Hua family. Hua Zichen felt that Huakai's choice of Lu was the most meaningful. Uncle Wu, do you think that if Qin wants to dominate the world, who will be the first to attack? Hua Kai asked. It should be Wei or South Korea. The warring states and Qin are too long and it will take too long for Qin to win. Other countries will surely save them when they see it. King Qin will not be stupidly against the entire world. Hua Zichen after thinking about it, he said. Except for the kingdoms of Yan and Qi, Qin is connected with the 4 of the 7 heroes. Of these 4 countries, Wei has the most battles against Chu and Qin. They know the way Qin people fight, and Qin should not attack. Zhao is connected to the northern grasslands, Qi, and Yan, and it is not easy to destroy Zhao. Therefore, the first goal of Qin's unification of the world must be South Korea. Hua Kai said. Hua Zichen opened his eyes and imagined Huakai. If this is the case, Qin must first break through the core area of the Central Plains, first occupy all the small and medium-sized countries in the core area of the Central Plains, then stabilize its strength, digest the resources of these countries, and then find a way to occupy it. The other 5 countries. As long as Qin state can win the entire Central Plains core area in one fell swoop, his overall strength will no longer be smaller than the combined strength of the other 5 nations. So you first exchange the resources of the small and medium-sized countries in the Central Plains, so that it will be difficult for the Qin state to occupy the core areas of the Central Plains, even if the resources they can get are much smaller. Hua Zichen nodded and said, Hua Kai, it turns out that there is still such a deep meaning, so that other countries can be a little more prepared to fight against Qin, and the pressure can be less. Lu is chosen because the position of Lu is the most special. If Qin rules the world, the last one to be occupied will definitely be Qi. The relationship between Qi and Lu has always been very good. Retreat to Lu State. Lu State is a very special place for scholars all over the world. Hua Kai said to Hua Zichen. Hua Zichen did not expect that Hua Kai would use both Qi and Confucianism. If Qin ruled the world in the future, Lu would really be one of the countries that persisted to the end. The two were talking. Suddenly they looked to the south, and saw a black cloud coming from the south. When they reached the sky above Jialiu City, it began to rain. There was continuous thunder in the air, and Hua Kai reached out to catch it. The falling raindrops were a little dazed. Why is the spiritual Qi of this world suddenly so strong, this spiritual rain? This is a powerful person who has passed away, and the last moment of his life will feed back to the world. Hua Kai said silently. This, I don't know who it will be. Qi State Monarch, Hua Zichen asked. Hua Kai did not answer. He quietly felt the sudden and strong wood origin aura between the world and the earth. This must be the patrol of King Qi. In general, the fall of Sage Gold Core is the morning of the heavens and the earth, and the heavy rain lasts for 3 days. But this rain of rain stopped after only more than 2 hours. King Qi is only a half-step Gold Core. Even if he has short-term Gold Core strength, he is not powerful anyway. This heavy rain did not have much impact on ordinary people. The wheat seedlings in the fields could grow better, and the pastures on the grassland began to become more beautiful. But some big families have become extremely careful these days. The fall of Qi King is not only the country of Qi, but the balance of the situation in the Central Plains is likely to be broken. No one knows when the next war will come. But if a war comes, it may be an unpredictable world war. After the fall of King Qi, Hua Kai took out the Hua family token. He felt that the spiritual link on the token had completely disappeared, and the token in his hand became an ordinary strange stone. Hua Kai is truly independent from now on. In the world. For a week, Hua Kai did not hear any information about the Qin state and the war. In the 2-year rebellion, the people of the Yichu state were almost killed. The uprising of Bashu and Shu has not been suppressed, and the state of Qin has given Bashu to Bashu. The two countries sent more than 100,000 elites, and the entire country's military strength was reduced by half. The chaos between the two countries is still unable to stop. There was no conflict in the whole world because of the fall of King Qi, and Qi Guo didn't mean to mourn, it seemed that nothing happened. Hua Kai knew that this was the most terrifying thing. The more calm the surface, the greater the crisis would be hidden. He stayed in Jialiu City for half a month and saw that Jialiu City was still under rapid construction inside and outside, brought back from Beishan. Some ordinary people have begun to look for jobs in Jialiucheng. Most of their inner minds are different from those of Jialiucheng. Therefore, the security of Jialiucheng is getting worse and worse these days. Hua Zili reported to Hua Kai that about 170,000 people will relocate to Jialiu City before the end of May this year. The entire Jialiu City population was originally around 150,000. This may suddenly exceed 300,000 people. There will be more grazing personnel from various families in Jialiucheng. Of course, Hua Kai couldn't keep all 300,000 people in Jialiu City. He selected some people from Beishan as the new Hua family. The families in Jialiu City also spent money to hire a large number of new people, so the number of new people without a place to live has always been kept at a relatively reasonable number. Gao Liucheng's family and aristocratic family used their accumulated wealth to strengthen themselves, and the entire Gao Liucheng became more prosperous because of the large flow of funds. After the aristocratic family had a large number of new generals, retainers, family members, and maids, they began to send more people to their ranch to expand the scale of the ranch. There are also many aristocratic families who sent their elite families to Beishan, because many people can see the potential of Beishan in the future. The Hua family will become stronger and stronger in the future, and Beishan's importance in the grassland will become higher and higher. In fact, some people in Jialiucheng came in, and some went out. Some people were hired by aristocratic families and families within a few days in Jialiucheng, and then went to Beishan. However, their identities were different this time, and something went wrong. K will find their family directly. After half a month in Jialiucheng, I arrived at Baoyu Pass. Baoyu Pass is now the busiest time for caravans to enter and leave. Hua Kai saw the continuous business group slowly passing through Baoyu Pass. Tens of thousands of people gathered outside the pass are still here. Lined up, many small vendors set up tea houses and snack bars here, and the business is very good. Hua Kai entered the Baoyuguan to Yu Jun's mansion, and explored the situation of the Baoyuguan with Yu Jun. Patriarch, Baoyuguan is divided into regions. The city defense area, commercial area, barracks area, campus area, and warehouse area have been built. Only the life area of the people has not yet been constructed. Recently, more and more caravans have come to Baoyuguan. Should we plan a trade zone in Baoyuguan, now many caravans can only stay outside the customs for rest and recuperation. While watching the construction of Baoyuguan in the past 2 years in Baoyuguan, Yu Jun and Hua Kai were right. Hua Kai said, "The main responsibility of Baoyuguan is to guard the gate of Jialiu County. Everything in the customs will be built according to the original plan. Caravan reorganization and trade are not the responsibility of Baoyuguan. Let's build a trade zone in the customs. Then this year, the ordinary people's life zone once completed, all soldiers of the White Tiger Corps can move their homes to Leopard Jade Pass." Hua Kai said to Yu Jun. After 2 years of construction in Jialiu County, Baoyuguan, Jialiu City, and Weisung City have been basically completed. Because there are no industries in Baoyuguan, the urban development can only rely on subsidies from the Chinese family, and most of the people here are mainly supporting the life of soldiers. It is impossible for Baoyuguan to expand because of its location. Nowadays, it is only possible to use every inch of land as much as possible. The maximum population of 50,000 people in the pass is enough. In Hua Kai's view, this is enough. 59%. Chapter 335 Sea of Consciousness. Hua Kai only stayed at the Leopard Jade Pass for 3 days before returning to Weisung. The main tasks of Weisung this year are the construction of the Heavenly Horse Field, the expansion of Falvus spiritual herbs, and the cultivation of spiritual herbs and spiritual trees. Last year, the growth of ancient grass was very good. This year, many signs of flowering have already appeared. If there is an ancient grass blooming this autumn, it will be easier for the Hua family to solve the problem of soldiers' karma. Entering May, caravans from Yan, Qi, and even Lu, Zheng, Song, Shu and other countries came to Jialiu City one after another. Hua Kai saw that the prosperity value of Wahia entered a period of rapid growth. Looking at the cultural value attributes of the Hua family, he has a headache. Hua family, 5th rank family. Prosperity, 51,375. Combat power, 31,099. Agriculture, 24,282. Animal husbandry, 31,372. Commercial, 24,131. Culture, 2,720. Comprehensive strength, 164,979. Allies, Ordos tribe, 4th rank, Yao family, 6th rank, Lu family, 2nd rank, Sihai Chamber of Commerce, 4th rank, Ujamukan tribe, 2nd rank. Affiliated forces. Huang family, 8 rank, Ren family, 8 rank, Jia family, 8 rank, Yi family, 9 rank, Tai family, 9 rank, Yu family, 9 rank. Hostile forces. Donghu Kingdom, 2nd rank, Zhao Guoshan family, 3rd rank, Lindsay City Bu family, 7 rank. Capital. 241 purple gold coins, 182616 taels of gold, 39,251 taels of silver, 867,160 bone coins. Luck value, 108,251. Portable space, 6 cubic meters. All attributes of the Hua family have far exceeded the category of the 5th rank family, except for the cultural value. The 4 colleges in Jialiucheng have been completed, and the Huacheng Military Academy has also been completed. Hua Kai will let the family try their best to organize the festival in the Central Plains, but the cultural value is still slow. According to the current speed, it will take at least 2 years. The main task 8 can be completed. To quickly ascension the cultural value of the Chinese family, that is, to penetrate the traditional culture of the Chinese family into the hearts of everyone in the family, to influence everyone in Jialiu County, and even the world. After discussing with the core members of the family, Hua Kai finally summarized 10 methods. The first is to publicize the history of the Hua family. In this regard, the Hua family can do very little. The only thing worth conveying about the history of the Hua family is after Hua Kai inherits the position of the head of the family. Therefore, they focus on the second one. The second is the influence of certain people in the Ascension family, so that more people can understand the Hua family, so that the Hua family can influence more people. Here, the Hua family can be respected by Hua Kai and Hua Zichen. People, the family has arranged for someone to summarize the achievements of the 2 people, and soon the story of the 2 of them will be the story of the 2 of them in the entire Jialiu city. The third is to increase the influence of Wahia specialty products. Huakai began to rename many Wahia food and snacks with Wahia characteristics, or deliberately made some short stories for these snacks, so that Wahia's wine and washi paper, snow salt and other special production capacity let more people know. The fourth is the construction of folk customs in the territory. Advocate unified values, formulate the laws of Jialiu County, and tell everyone what the Chinese family advocates and what is forbidden. Even the houses in Jialiu County must be planned and constructed in accordance with Huakai's requirements, so that people can remember the characteristics of Wahia when they enter Jialiu County. Fifth, the cultivation of people's cultural knowledge, loyalty value, especially the education of domestic children. Chinese families need to spend energy and money to ascension. Sixth, the promotion of new industries and the promotion of Wahia products. In recent years, the establishment of Wahia Bank in Jialiucheng and Wahiapu has benefited a lot of caravans from going on business. Wahia has paid a lot of money for this. Ordos tribe opened branches in 5 places. Seventh, standardize the management of the city, strengthen the functions of the 7 major departments of Jialiu City, make the development of the entire city more orderly, encourage families to expand workshop production, and allow more places to use Wahia products. Eighth, support for innovation. There are families or individuals who invent and create various tools and new objects, and the Wahia will give certain financial rewards or invest to support their production. Ninth is the formulation and promotion of Wahia family rules. The rights and obligations of the Wa family, the rights and obligations of the branches, the responsibilities and obligations of the generals, retainers, and family members. This makes everything about Wahia become clear. 10th, it is the influence of Wa Kai's novels. Wa Kai's novels are the only way for many people to know the Wa family. The Wa family lowered the selling price of the novels and rebundled the novels written by Wa Kai in the past, and began to sell them to the entire Central Plains. For this reason, he contacted all his allies. Relationship is to promote own novels. This is all the Ascension family cultural value methods that the Wa family can do. Huakai is also in order to complete the main task at all costs. 10 Ascension family cultural value methods. He delegates these things to the core members of the family to do, and each person is responsible for one. Shang, he has to personally inquire about the progress every month. As for the funds used, all applications are from him. The entire Wa family quickly became busy. Everyone was busy reciting family rules or promoting propaganda. Many novelist apprentices, students, and students in the academy have recently become the focus. They have been sent to Jialiucheng and Baoyuguan. Some people even go to other cities outside of Jialiu County to tell stories. Huakai watched the family culture value increase every day in Huacheng. The entire Wa family seemed to be alive because of this major reorganization. Some people who had nothing to do before were also moved at this time because of the family rules of the Wa family. It is stipulated that at the end of each year, a summary of the results of the year shall be submitted to Huakai, and so does every general and retainer. The family and the maid summarized and handed them to the core members of the family for assessment. If the affiliated families do not have enough annual performance, the Chinese family may reduce their rights and resources. If these rules were placed in other territories, the family might overthrow the sect leader family. However, in Jialiu City, the Chinese family gave all the family rights and freedoms, but they absolutely ruled Jialiu County. There is no family with everyone. Wahia said no to the extent permitted by its rights. On the first day of June, news came from the second Zhuang that there was an accident in the war between the Ujumukan tribe and the Xiaoyu kingdom. It seems that Linhu and the Yichu kingdom have masters to support the Xiaoyu kingdom. For this, the Ujumukan Patriarch chose personally set off. A total of 500,000 troops smashed toward the border of the Dayu clan, and the strength of the Dayu clan made the Cheng people shocked. After half a year of cultivation, Wakai has now merged with spiritual qi, entered his internal organs, and became a part of his body. After arriving here, Huakai easily felt the significance and power of the foundation building environment. Use the power of his will to slowly build a natural cycle of power of will in the body. In the future, even if he does not deliberately cultivate, as long as he is between the sky and the earth, his strength will continue to ascension. And he can also borrow part of the power of the will of heaven and earth, which makes his use of true qi and the power of rules much stronger than before. To allow Huakai to form a natural circulation in the body is far from being able to completely replace all organs of the body with the power of heaven and earth will. This is a big project. For the success of a foundation building, Huakai is not in a hurry. After the cultivation is over, Wakai enters the dreaming space of Big Dream View. Today is the final moment of the Journey to the West outline. After Hua Kai changed the finale of Journey to the West today, he can officially start creating. For this creation of Journey to the West, Hua Kai worked hard. In order for the novel to be recognized by the world, the images of the Heaven Court gods in Journey to the West were chosen from many legends in this world, and inside many monsters are based on the great monster legends that exist in this world. Hua Kai has spent endless thoughts on this Journey to the West. When the Journey to the West outline was completed, Hua Kai suddenly felt that something in his mind was touched. He suddenly realized that he could see the sea of consciousness. A special light spot was spinning in his mind, and all his mental energy seemed to be constantly gathering towards that spot of light. Hua Kai has never heard of the success of foundation building. He realized that this may be his academic breakthrough, and he is about to be promoted to a giant. Generally, only foundation building can become a giant. Hua Kai has not yet succeeded in foundation building, so I don't know why he has already been promoted to a giant. Giants have peculiar means compared to ordinary foundation building, and sometimes they can even fight against gold core. Hua Kai watched that the bright spot was constantly absorbing own mental energy. As time passed, the bright spot kept getting bigger, and finally turned into a black hole. He has 68 points of willpower. Mental energy is not worse than the average gold core. Seeing that the black hole absorbs mental energy faster and faster, Hua Kai hurriedly meditated the mantra of Big Dream View. He felt that mental energy was fast. Recovery. Mental energy is also slowly ascension while satisfying the absorption of black holes. But the good times didn't last long. Hua Kai saw that the black hole was getting bigger and bigger. It was already the size of a fist, and the speed of absorbing mental energy was also faster. His mental energy recovery was too late to replenish, and the whole black hole was here to absorb mental energy faster and faster. Although Hua Kai didn't know what this black hole was, he vaguely guessed that this might be his supernatural power after he was promoted to a novel giant, so he tried his best to maintain spiritual supply, watching his mental energy remaining 50%, 30%, 10%. Hua Kai felt that his consciousness seemed to be drifting away at any time. This sea of consciousness was no more than the flesh, but the most vulnerable place of human beings. He couldn't stop the black hole that was already bigger than the house. He could only meditate desperately. Thoughts in order to be conscious. I don't know how long it took. Hua Kai suddenly felt that everything around him seemed to stop. He began to recall everything he had experienced, starting from the earth to Wahiapu, and then to Jaliu County. Many things quickly walked past his eyes. Hua Kai looked at the memory fragments in his mind, and felt a lot in his heart. Before, he had some imperfections, but there was also something to be proud of. Looking at it, he felt that his consciousness was sucked into a special space. This space is about 100 square meters in size, and there is nothing in the distance. Hua Kai stepped forward slightly, and a grass suddenly appeared under his feet. When he took another step, his eyes became like Wahiapu when he was a little boy. Hua Kai tried to think about his father, who was somewhat similar to him. The middle-aged man appeared opposite him. Next to him was the young mother cuddling next to his father. 60%. Chapter 336 Promotion to Novelist Giant. Hua Kai knows that this is a false space, and everything in this space is changing according to his own will. He needs mental energy to shape everything. The mental energy needed to transform that piece of grass just now was very small, but when he transformed his father, Hua Kai felt that he had drew up the mental energy of about 3 layers of the pneumatic realm, which happened to be his father's cultivation base. The mental energy consumed by the cultivation base on the 5th floor of the mother's body tempering also just verified his guess. Trying to exit this space, the scenery in front of Hua Kai disappeared in an instant, and his thinking returned to his sea of consciousness. There was a black column of 100 square meters in the sea of consciousness, like a pin of Dinghai God standing in the sea of consciousness. Hua Kai tried mental energy. Contact. Instantly enter this space. In the space, the phantoms of his parents were still there, and the grass was still there. His parents were a little frightened in this world with only a piece of grass as they were when they were young. Hua Kai instantly let the things used in the space disappear after seeing them. Coming out of the sea of consciousness, Hua Kai felt that everything around him seemed to be different. The power of various rules became clearer than before. His mental energy was many times larger than before. The system prompts made him feel happy. Congratulations to the host. Basic copywriting skills breakthrough and complete, all attributes +2. Congratulations to the host. Become a giant novelist, open the spirit world, willpower +3. Congratulations to the host. Golden thread snow lotus petals have played a role, and your qualifications have been ascension. Congratulations to the host. Dream ideas promotion to Dachang, all attributes +2. Huakai view the own property. Huakai. 9th floor of Shantian realm. Qualification. SS+. Physique. 64. Strength. 66. Will. 76. Xuanbing Will. The third layer, 99%. Resistance. Intermediate cold ice antibody, 85%. Supernatural powers. Unreal world. Novelist. Giant. Confucianism. Everyone. Taoism. Everyone. Mind method novelist. The basic skills of copywriting. The low-level mental method of the heavenly rank is complete. Special mind method. Big dream ideas. God level. Xiao Cheng. Special skill. Real eye cannot be upgraded. The system does not have a half-step foundation building concept. Without foundation building, success is the 9th floor of Shantian realm. His willpower has reached 76 points, which makes him feel that he has entered a new state. Raising his hand, Wakai felt the ice will in the air. Snowflakes fell from above his head. He closed his eyes and felt the various wills from heaven and earth pouring into his body, but his thoughts drifted into the void. After a while, he opened his eyes. Patriarch, are you all right? Outside the courtyard is the voice of the butler of Wufu. Huakai saw that a thick layer of snow had fallen in his courtyard. Just now he unknowingly inspired the power of heaven and earth, and changed the power of the rules in the area of the heavenly horse field. The entire heavenly horse the field was covered by heavy snow, and the horse trembled with cold. Grandpa, I'm okay. There was an accident in the practice just now. Wakai's voice sounded, and he felt his grandpa coming with several famous families in the distance. Wakai opened the courtyard door and saw that the entire Wachang was covered with snow. Now he has scattered ice while the snow is slowly melting. If he reacts late, the entire Wachang may suffer a catastrophe. Kay, did you make a breakthrough? Hua Xing said with excitement when he entered the Huakai courtyard. There is a world of difference between entering the foundation building realm and the Shantian realm of Zochan. If the Hua family has the foundation building realm, it will directly become a third-rank family. Not to mention, Jialiu County will automatically be promoted to the country, and Huakai will become a king in the future. The Chinese family will have stronger cards in this world, and the chances of attracting commoners and families will be greater. It can be said that a family with a foundation building level can be regarded as a large family. Without a foundation building level, it will always be a small family. No, but it's not far away. I don't want to easily step into the foundation building realm now. I don't want to say that the world and the world of the foundation building become more restrictive. I can't understand many things well. If I encounter a normal foundation building, I think it can still be resisted, Wakai said slowly. When everyone saw Wakai again, they could feel that he was different from before. I can't tell the difference, that is, he feels that all his movements are more natural and harmonious than before. There seems to be something inexplicable around Wakai that is attracting them, causing them to feel a sense of awe. That's good. I heard that only the foundation building's great perfection can change the climate. I don't want care. You can have such an ability before the foundation building, and future sanctification will be a matter of course. I have already let people deal with the sudden cooling. Influence, the entire Wachang will not reveal what happened today. Hua Xing looked at Wakai and said. Wakai knows that he can become a novelist giant this time, and that he has gained strength. There are many coincidences in ascension. His mental energy seems to be powerful beyond common sense, and Wakai can feel the weakness of this body and true chi. Tell Grandpa that he needs closed-door training for a period of time. The sudden enhancement of his mental energy makes his control of the body have a problem, and he discovered that the new method used by mental energy now requires a period of time to master this new power. And Wakai wanted to start writing this, Journey to the West, quietly. Since May, all members of the Hua family have never seen Huakai again. Only some important personnel of the Hua family know that Huakai's closed-door training in Wachang. After the entire Hua family's cultural value ascension 10 items, the entire Jialiu County seems to have become active. In mid-May, when the Leopard Yuguan Pass was busy, a cavalry rushed from the north of the Leopard Yuguan with a BMW, and arrived at the entrance of the Leopard Yuguan. Everyone inside the gate opened and closed their eyes to each other because the cavalry was wearing a Azure Dragon Legion special armor. It turned out to be the Azure Dragon Legion. What is the Azure Dragon Legion going to do at this time? A traveler was sitting in the restaurant eating dinner, and asked puzzledly when he saw the cavalry rushing on the street. The reputation of Azure Dragon Corps has spread among the merchant groups. The stories of their many defeats of Donghu and Baishan bandits have been compiled into several versions by troubadours. In the past few days, there are many stories about Wahia and Azure Dragon Corps. Smellable. Looking at the cavalry, you know the strength of the Azure Dragon Corps. This type of cavalry is not common in the Central Plains. The only thing that can make the Azure Dragon Corps anxious is Donghu country. The traveler thought for a while and said, Hua Zichen is in the barracks contacting soldiers for equestrian cooperation. In the first phase of the summer, 300 members of the army have been sent to Weisung. Now all members of the Azure Dragon Army are tasked with learning cultural lessons, learning loyalty to the family, and learning, in addition to daily cultivation, how to better resolve one's own karma. Military owner, it's okay. Donghu army was found 400 miles away from Leopard Yuguan. The number is about 50,000. It looks like Donghu elite cavalry. An Azure Dragon legionnaire quickly ran back to the barracks and dismounted after seeing Hua Zichen. East Hu army. How come there will be East Hu army at this time? You can see that it is the elite East Hu cavalry. Hua Zichen asked calmly when he came to the soldier. I can see clearly. Today we heard that a merchant group was trapped by wolves, so we went to rescue them. In the process of hunting and killing the wolves, we saw cavalry moving from north to south. A closer look was actually Donghu elite. I think this East Hu cavalry may just be the opposing team's vanguard. The opponent's target is obviously us. How can the cavalry alone win the Leopard Jade Pass? The soldier said. It's only May, so Donghu country dares to move troops and won't graze this year. Dare to use 50,000 elite cavalry as the vanguard. This time, Donghu must do his best. King Donghu may even conquer us personally. They want to conquer us as quickly as possible, and then look back to deal with other aspects of the Xiongnu nation. Crisis. The Azure Dragon Corps sent people to notify Takaryu City, Weisung, and Kitayama to prepare each city to deal with it. If there is a caravan between Leopard Yuguan and Baishan, tell them to enter and escape quickly. Hua Zichen ordered. Today family space is Hua Ziji on duty, and the message transmission has to rely on Azure Dragon Corps. Hua Zichen once again sent a small team of elite cavalry to confirm the purpose of the Donghu cavalry's attack, which was Leopard Yuguan. Hua Zichen determined the target and knew that many caravans in the Baishan area were on their way to Baoyuguan, so he took all the official members of the Azure Dragon Legion and walked towards the Donghu cavalry. What surprised Hua Zichen was that the 50,000 East Hu cavalrymen did not seem to be afraid of the entanglement of the Azure Dragon Legion. They didn't seem to be in a hurry, seeing the Azure Dragon Legion slow down and confront them slowly. Wu Yi, these 50,000 fine knights seem to be just their vanguard. Their purpose is to entangle us, not to harass their Chinese army. Are we going to get out of their entanglement now? A Shantian-level captain of the Azure Dragon Legion asked Huakai. The merchant group outside the Leopard Yuguan has not yet entered. We can't let the 50,000 East Hu cavalry close to the position of the Leopard Yuguan. Now we don't know the overall strength of the East Hu army. We can only stabilize each other step by step, and then slow down, slowly discuss countermeasures. Hua Zichen said to everyone around him. They dispatched several pairs of detection teams to disperse to guard against possible surprise attacks nearby. At the same time, the Azure Dragon investigation team mainly conducts long-distance investigations in the northern region. Their purpose is to pay attention to the possible emergence of the main force of the East Hu. In the evening, the investigation team reported that there was no abnormal situation within 200 miles in the north. The investigation team reported at noon the next day that no enemy was found within 400 miles in the north. By the next night, multiple teams had already explored the 600 in the north. In the area, no Donghu army was found. Hua Zichen took Azure Dragon Legion and 50,000 East Hu cavalry for many trials. The opponent has at least 8 Shantian masters, and they also have 2,000 cavalry, at least all of which are pneumatic cultivation base. Azure Dragon Legion has not tried many times. After achieving the results of the Great War, the opponent will remain unchanged. If the Azure Dragon Legion chooses to force a surprise attack, the loss will inevitably be very large. Therefore, after paying more than a dozen Azure Dragon Legion soldiers' lives, Hua Zichen decided to hold on. The news of the Donghu army's attack on Leopard Yuguan in June came. Everyone could feel the determination of the Donghu cavalry to destroy the Hua family. The cattle and sheep have not recovered after the heavy snowfall. If Donghu cannot take Jialiu County, it will lose this year. It's big. 60%. Chapter 337. Huakai has recently experienced more and more the power of Heavenly Horse Field in Weisung. Since he became a novelist giant, the virtual space was born in his sea of consciousness. He tried to create various things in the virtual space, and then when the world reached his satisfaction, he could seal everything in this space. Everything in these virtual spaces is shaped by Huakai's mental energy to control the will of heaven and earth. Every time Huakai consumes too much in the virtual space, the heavenly horse field pattern will automatically replenish his spiritual will. In the past few days, Huakai felt that he had a great understanding of all will powers other than ice force, but the system did not prompt him to understand other will powers. Huakai appreciates the several paintings he has created in recent days. The paintings are all an active world, each story is vivid and detailed, and all the characters and beasts are exactly the same as the real objects. With a thought, the energy of those recently created paintings disappeared into the virtual space. Huakai saw that the space began to grow slowly, and the urine stopped after more than 10 square meters. Huakai also knows that if this virtual space wants to expand, he can only continuously create new story fragments. These story fragments can be sealed in this space by him. As long as he destroys these words, the virtual space will grow. Hold your mind. Huakai meditated on the opening scene of Journey to the West in his heart, that when there is no heaven and earth in the chaos of heaven and earth, all the order between heaven and earth is still not very clear. After countless years, the power of will produces spiritual roots, and countless lives began to appear, including many plants and animals. These creatures as Shantian spiritual creatures began to slowly turn into the first wise creatures in the world. Pangu opened up the world, the 3 emperors ruled the world, and the 5 emperors concluded. The world is divided into 4 continents. Huakai was thinking of the beginning of Journey to the West. This virtual space began to shape the space he described little by little. The talented treasures that had just started swallowed each other, and some began to gradually have spiritual sense, and the world began to have the first creatures. Regarding the creation of Pangu, the 3 emperors and the 5 emperors, Huakai spent his life as simple as possible. He used mental energy to describe the cultivation base and appearance of these people in detail, but Huakai's ability can only create a rough outline at most. When he talked about the 4 continents, Huakai felt mental energy was exhausted for a while. His mental energy was already insufficient, and he could no longer build the huge 4 continents. Exit virtual space. Huakai returns to reality and enters meditation to restore the power of will. When the power of will is almost restored, Huakai enters the big dream concept to restore mental energy in the dream space. 3 hours later, Huakai entered the virtual space again. Instead of creating a new story, he modified the story just now. He injected mental energy and corresponding laws of will into Pangu and the 3 emperors and 5 emperors several times in a row, which made the appearance of Pangu and the 3 emperors and 5 emperors more clear. Huakai continuously modified the space picture and injected the power of spiritual rules for a few days, which was satisfied with the opening scene. Settings. After finishing the creation of the first opening shot, Huakai's heart moved all the content created in the past few days into a painting, which floated in a corner of the space and hung it by himself. Huakai began to create the second shot. He felt that the monkey was born in Heaven Court. Huakai carefully described the building of Heaven Court, mostly based on 5,000 years of civilization in his mind. The entire Heaven Court was constructed by him vividly. The second shot is much better than the first one. In Huakai's Journey to the West, the Heaven Court immortals only have a few important appearances, and he carefully portrayed them. If necessary, he will add more characters in the future. The monkey was born, and Huaguoshan is king. Huakai carefully portrays Sun Wukong's early stage life in Huaguoshan. Even the monkeys around him are carefully constructed. The character of each monkey is the cultivation base. The attributes are portrayed in great detail, and this, Journey to the West, has become a life story of the monster clan at the beginning. In 10 days, Huakai constructed a total of more than 30 story fragments. He then modified and polished these story worlds and completed the cultivation system structure of each character. It took another 20 days. By the beginning of June, Huakai's first time get out of the house. Patriarch, you are finally out of the house. Huazan was bringing food to Huakai, and said when he saw Huakai going out today. Huakai asked Huazan to put the food on the stone table in the courtyard, and sat down to start the meal. After foundation building, it is possible to not need to eat to supplement energy, but Huakai still likes the feeling of eating, and he has to eat at least once a day. Sit down and eat together. How have you been cultivation recently? Have you encountered any problems? Hua Kai said as he watched Hua Zan have entered the first floor of the Qi training realm. Hua Zan knew that every time Hua Kai ate was just a habit, he just tasted every dish, so he sat down and ate with Hua Kai. Patriarch, are you in the foundation building now? I feel you are better than before. Hua Zan said while eating. As Hua Kai's book boy, one of the future cores of the Hua family, he has the closest relationship with Hua Kai. No, almost. I'm writing a novel recently. Hua Kai said casually. Patriarch has written novels again. Recently, many people in Huacheng are reading your novels. Can I read any novels first? Hua Zan said. You, go and inform all the students in Jialiu County who are getting introductory to basic copywriting, as well as all the students of the Wahia Military Academy, the direct descendants of the Wahia family, and come to the Heavenly Horse Field Meditation Room the next morning to gather as much as you can. Everyone in Weisung can come if they want to see it. Hua Kai said. Patriarch, do you have any special cultivation technique to pass on to everyone? Nowadays, there are more and more students of novelists in Jialiucheng. This is all because of you. Many caravans came to Jialiucheng from China to buy novel books. Gaoliucheng College now has more and more students of novelists. Hua Zan looked at Hua Kai and said, there is no special cultivation technique. Haotian, I want to write the first great book. Hua Kai said that Hua Zan suddenly stood up. The masterpiece is not just a casual statement. It is a masterpiece written by a giant or sage in his life. Normally, the book will have a vision of heaven and earth, and this type of masterpiece would have become a powerful Lingbao family protects an aristocratic family for thousands of years. Patriarch, are you going to write a masterpiece? This, if you let the novelists and the students know, you will definitely come to observe it. If you write a masterpiece this time, the novelist will have an ascension among the 10 masters in the future, and there will be no people dare to say that novelists are out of fashion. Hua Zan said excitedly. There are hundreds of schools of thought, and 10 schools of 9 generations, and novelists are the only ones who do not enter the stream. Although the number and influence of novelists are no worse than that of any school, there has never been a giant, which is unimaginable in all schools. Without even a giant, a school cannot form cohesion. Without a masterpiece, this school would not have a huge impact. Hua Kai became the first giant of a novelist, which not only had a huge impact on the novelist, but also on the entire philosophers. And every time a giant devotes his life to writing a great book, there will be a vision. This is very important for everyone and students. All novelists and students may not miss this opportunity to learn. In the evening, Hua Kai continued to conceive the second chapter of Journey to the West, in the virtual space. The most difficult part of this chapter was the construction of Bodhi's ancestors, who was the top character in Journey to the West, and Hua Kai had spent a lot of money. The energy of Bodhi's ancestors was built, and then the part of Sun Wukong's art learning became easier. Only the 72 changes and somersault cloud took Hua Kai a lot of effort to construct with the power of rules. These are problems for him. Not big. In the early morning of June 5th, many people from Jialiucheng and Baoyuguan came to Weisung in secret. They heard that Hua Kai was going to write a masterpiece, and they tried their best to come over to watch the vision of the masterpiece. Hua Kai was sitting at the top of the meditation room in the Shenzhou area of Heavenly Horse Field with tables and chairs. Thousands of people underneath sat quietly and watched him. They had never seen how the masterpiece came into being. Okay, the time is up. You are all watching quietly, and you can understand how much you can see yourself as good fortune. Don't make noise, and maintain order. Hua Kai picked up a writing brush after speaking, and Hua Zan sharpened the inkstone on the side. Hua Kai took out a blank thick book, and wrote 3 types of Journey to the West on the big cover. Quote, chaos is not divided into chaos, and no one sees it. Ever since Pengu broke the Hongmong, developed from the clear and turbid discernment. The number of the world is 1 yuan. Divide 1 yuan into 12 meetings, Naoko, Chou, Yin, Mao, Chen, Si. Hua Kai spoke. Everyone seemed to be drawn into a peculiar world. This is exactly the first chapter of Journey to the West that Hua Kai created this month. Hua Kai meditated on the story in his heart while writing his pen. The whole novel is virtual. The world was pulled out of the sea of consciousness by him, and all the power of the rules of the will was integrated into the pen, and Hua Kai wrote all these spiritual will powers into his words. The audience who listened to Hua Kai's Journey to the West only saw countless pictures come into their minds when Hua Kai was telling the content of Journey to the West, and the scenery pictures were so clear, many of them were characters. All of them have strong spiritual willpower, and everyone, according to Own, has begun to realize that it belongs to own power of will. Everyone in the novel and the students are still more sober. They are aware of the detailed situation of each picture and the strength of mental energy, as well as the character of each character. They learn from the giant's ability to structure the world of the novel. The students of ordinary novelists and others are mostly attracted by the wonderful world of novels. In the world of novels, they feel the ups and downs of the story, and admire the greatness of Pengu, the 3 emperors and 5 emperors. No one noticed that the phantom images constantly flashed over Weisung City. Everyone within 200 miles nearby could see huge images appearing above Weisung City. Everyone in Weisung City couldn't help watching. Heavenly Horse Field. It's the first time everyone has seen such a fantastic sight in the sky. 60%. Chapter 338 Family Spirit Treasure. Hua Kai's spirit is fully immersed in the creation of Journey to the West. All outlines have been completed, he only needs to incorporate all the mental images into the text. For a total of 3 hours, more than 30 pictures were integrated into Hua Kai's brushwork and portrayed on the book. Hua Kai felt that countless mental energy between the world and the earth began to gather here. After a while, this ordinary book began to produce spiritual chi. There seems to be a little more connection between this book and heaven and earth. Hua Kai can feel that he has not portrayed a novel human race easily before. The strength of realm is slowly improving by himself. This book has really become a spirit. Bow it. Hua Kai saw everyone in the meditation room close their eyes in a quiet enlightenment. The appearance of the phantom in the novel world made many people feel the power of the basic rules of will up close for the first time. The effect is equivalent to an epiphany. Close his eyes and feel the difference in this Journey to the West. He only needs to read the book from the beginning, and the fragments of the stories he portrayed in the book can't help but appear in his mind. This is the magical effect of the masterpiece original. This original can not only make people feel the rules and principles in the novel, but also use true chi and willpower to display some of the magical powers in the novel, but the mental energy and willpower rules required to perform these magical powers will be very sensitive. Hua Kai cannot use the God tier, Journey to the West, such as 7-2 changes and Somersault Cloud. Moreover, Hua Kai can feel that the special energy flying from the minds of everyone sitting in the Journey to the West original. Hua Kai can feel that this original is becoming stronger step by step. The novel, because of the popularity of many people, his character image is becoming easier and power of will is becoming more and more powerful. This originally is more powerful than most Lingbao functions, and it is still growing. Middle. I'm here for today. Next month, everyone will continue to listen to the second chapter of Journey to the West in this place. Everyone must not disclose all the information in Watchung. I hope that everyone can digest today's gains when they go back this time. Hua Kai looks at everyone. All of them came to their senses and said, in these 3 hours, more than a dozen people have realized power of will. The 3 of them made a breakthrough in the realm of Chizochan and entered Shantian. There are already 21 Shantian realms in the Hua family. In addition, Yu Jun and another fiction student were promoted to everyone, and 8 students were promoted to students. Many people have decided in their hearts to learn from the novelist's mindset and become a member of the novelist. Hua Kai closed the Journey to the West booklet, and everyone got up to pay tribute to Hua Kai's disciples. Today, Hua Kai let everyone watch the moment when the book was completed. It is not only as simple as adding strength to the family, but in the future, Jaliucheng will therefore, becoming a novelist, Sacred Land, is inseparable from today's writing of the sacred canon. When everyone left, Hua Kai returned to his courtyard with Journey to the West. Hua Zan kept his eyes on the book of Journey to the West, and refused to leave. Why, do you want to see? Hua Kai looked at Hua Zan and asked. I heard that watching the masterpiece Original Ascension's various academics can make everyone feel, Patriarch, will there be a lot of novel students and everyone in our family with the masterpiece? Hua Zan said while looking at Hua Kai. You can try it yourself. Hua Kai said as he handed Journey to the West to Hua Zan. If Hua Zan opened the treasure carefully, mental energy couldn't help but immerse himself in it. However, after 2 breaths, Hua Zan was already short of breath, sweat was constantly flowing down his forehead, his brow furrowed as if he was experiencing some pain, and he opened his eyes soon. Patriarch, this novel world is too powerful. I try to understand the power of the rules of the novel world and consume too much mental energy. I can only read a short paragraph a day. Hua Zan said. Many of the power of the world rules here are basically understood at the level above the foundation building, which is not something you can learn at this time. Learn more basic knowledge and comprehend the rules of the world, Huakai said. When he returned to his room, Huakai was about to enter the virtual space to complete the content of the second chapter, Journey to the West. At this time, his grandfather Hua Xing walked in from outside the courtyard. Seeing his grandfather's face solemn, Huakai knew that the matter was definitely not small, and the two of them entered the house. Hua Xing began to speak. The Donghu 50,000 cavalrymen came to the Leopard Yuguan today. All the foreign business groups involved have entered and escaped. The Baishan market has stopped trading. The Azure Dragon Corps has confronted the Donghu cavalry 400 miles north of the Leopard Yuguan. Today they have news. The main army of Donghu has already appeared. This time King Donghu personally led the main force on the expedition, and the target is us. Hua Xing said with a worried expression on his face. Although the Hua family has defeated the East Hu cavalry many times, it is completely different now that the Donghu king's personal campaign is completely different. How many people did they dispatch this time? Did Donghu Wangqi appear, and how many Shantian realms the other party had? Huakai didn't feel any surprises when he heard the news. Jialiu County had always belonged to the hunting grounds of Donghu country before, but now he found a new one. The Hua family that I came to was not a lamb of arbitrary bullying, so how could I feel better in my heart? In order to maintain the face of Donghu and its deterrence outside Baoyuguan and the northeast Hu, King Donghu will certainly not look at the Hua family to challenge their majesty in this way. The first 50,000 elite cavalrymen, 70,000 Chinese elite cavalrymen, 100,000 slave soldiers, 3,000 King Donghu cavalry, and about 80,000 troops in the rear. Most of the cattle and sheep that drove belonged to the Donghu tribes. These cattle and sheep were for the army, used for food and grass, Hua Xing said. In this way, the Donghu country sent more than 300,000 troops to conquer the Hua family, and it would not take that much force to break through the Baoyu Pass. They wanted to eat the entire Jialiu County in one bite, and even attacked and plundered Yan and Qi. Pass the news to Linzi City and Jicheng. All soldiers in the three cities are ready. The militiamen quickly assembled to Baoyuguan and transported all the supplies to Baoyuguan. Baoyuguan will let all Donghu people know what is called a broken blood. Hua Kai got up and said. The construction of the Leopard Jade Pass for 2 consecutive years gave Huakai full confidence in the defensive ability of the Leopard Yuguan. The 2 Donghu cavalry came under the walls of the Leopard Yuguan actually did not cause any harm to them, and even the battle for the wall did not occur, several times. However, this time the Azure Dragon Corps can hardly play a big role. The opponent has the foundation building environment and the Donghu Wangqi who can compete with it. It is basically impossible for us to break through the opponent's defense. We can only focus on harassment. Now, Hua Xing said with some worry. Most of the Hua family's combat power is in the Azure Dragon Legion. If the Azure Dragon Legion cannot play a big role, then this war will be difficult to fight. The Hua family not only has the Azure Dragon Corps, but the other 3 legions are also not to be glimpsed. Therefore, it is time for them to show their strength. King Donghu will fight for him. This time I will try him. World War I will determine the future of both sides in the grassland. Hua Kai said with a smile. The entire Takaryu County quickly moved. There were more than 40,000 militiamen in Jialiu City, and 100,000 slave soldiers could be deployed. Together with the 10,000 militiamen and 20,000 slave soldiers in Weisung City, the entire Jialiu County could organize up to 170,000 temporary troops. Hua Kai first let Jialiucheng's 20,000 militiamen and 50,000 slaves go to Baoyuguan first, and he came to Baoyuguan the next day. There is no such tense atmosphere of war in Leopard Jade Pass. All militiamen and slaves are waiting in the barracks. The wall is ready. Even if everyone knows that this is the Donghu king's personal conquest, everyone is not worried, because I believe that the Hua family has the strength to solve the Donghu country. When he came to Yu Jun's mansion, he was writing in a quiet person. Yesterday, Yu Jun was promoted to the master of the novel, and his strength was also ascension to the 4th floor of Shantian. With the endless resources and manpower of the Hua family, he can best understand the power of Baoyuguan. The enemy is now, Yu Jun, you are quite comfortable. Hua Kai came to the door of Yu Jun's study and said, looking at him. It's the Patriarch here. The Donghu army looks mighty, and the 300,000 army can't be used at Leopard Yuguan. Only King Donghu is the only one to deal with. Now that the Patriarch arrives, I have nothing to worry about, that is, Wuya might have it. It's more troublesome, Yu Jun said, putting down the pen in his hand, and asked Huakai to sit down inside. I heard that King Donghu also shot twice in person. The Azure Dragon Corps had more than 100 casualties. The Wushu now dare not get too close to the Donghu army. They can only lean far behind the Donghu army for up to 2 days. The 50,000 leading cavalry will be here. Hua Kai said to Yu Jun sitting on the main seat. Yu Jun is now one of the biggest retainers of the Hua family. Since he brought his family to the Hua family, there are now hundreds of family members and more than 2,000 family servants. The Yu family's status in the Baoyuguan is no lower than the 6 major families. The cavalry will not pose a threat to Leopard Yuguan unless it is a god horse. The Leopard Yuguan guards have not done much in the past few years. What Tiantian has done is how to guard Leopard Yutian's vision. To be honest, even if the owner of the Patriarch does not come to us, confidence to hold the wall without losing, but the loss can be greater. If you can win or hold Donghu King this time, the defense of our Leopard Jade Pass will be more stable. 4,000 White Tiger regiments, 13,000 slave soldiers, and 2,000 militiamen. I am confident that they will consume more than 50,000 yuan. Elite, Yu Jun said. Hua Kai feels that Yu Jun has been in charge of Baoyuguan for 2 years, and his self-confidence is much greater than before. This is also related to the city defense construction of Baoyuguan. Hua Kai intends that if there is no need, he will not take action and let the rest of the family. The personnel went to organize the defense of the Leopard Jade Pass. After all, he would become a ruler in the future, and he had to leave these things to other people as much as possible. In the evening, all the core members of the Hua family gathered in family space, and Wushu's face was green and told everyone a news, which made many people shocked. The Zhu family, Feng family, and Gongsun family of the Yan Kingdom announced their separation from the Yan family and the Great Wall has been opened. 100,000 Donghu elites have entered the northern part of the Yan Kingdom. With the addition of Zhu, Feng, Gongsun and other families, the total number of people is more than 300,000. Jicheng launched an attack in the direction of Jicheng. No one thought that Zhu, Feng, Gongsun and other families would choose to join Donghu at this time. Are they not afraid of King Yan's punishment? Hua Zichen was obviously injured. He looked at Hua Kai and said. 60%. Chapter 339. Everyone bowed their heads to consider the news that Hua Zichen had brought. He was interrogating the news that Donghu soldiers asked. This should not be false. At this time, Donghu elites have already entered the country. Yan Guo went to war. Patriarch, why are Zhu, Feng, and Gongsun's family so bold? Why is he doing this? Zhuang couldn't help but look at Hua Kai when he heard Hua Zichen say this. Hua Kai did not look at Shui Chen aloud. Everyone knows that Hua Kai is testing Shui Chen. Shui Chen is now on the 6th floor of the Shantian realm. He has become one of the highest realm under Hua Kai, far surpassing the Hua family. 10 other 9 people. Since the Patriarch is tested, then I will talk about own views. Although Yan State is one of the 7 heroes of the Central Plains, it is somewhat similar to Yichu State. The northern families all exist in the form of tribes and are subject to the Yan family. I think there are 3 main reasons why Zhu, Feng, and Gongsun dare to attack Yan country at this time. The first reason is the Great Wall. Yan State established the Northern Great Wall. Afterwards, the Yan State family and Donghu tribe were hindered in communication. Many families that secretly did business with Donghu State could no longer do business. Moreover, this year we opened Leopard Yuguan, and their income dropped sharply. There are at least 3 of them in the foundation building of the 3 major families. After Donghu has taken refuge in Donghu, Donghu will not be the king of Donghu alone. Second, the king of Qi lost his new life. Qi and Yan had jointly resisted Donghu before losing too much. This time, it is unlikely that Qi will help if they rebel against Yan. They feel that even if they cannot completely defeat Yan, it's okay to fight against the opposing chamber. Third, the Central Plains war is imminent. In the end, if Qin dominates the world, they cannot reach the grasslands. They have rebelled against Yan, and they can flee north when they encounter a powerful Qin that dominates the world. They will come back again when they have the opportunity to dominate the world. This is also to preserve own strength. Quote. When Shui Chen said that, everyone nodded. After Shui Chen had such a mind, he would be the core figure of the Hua family. Perhaps Hua Mo would not be able to compare with it in the future. Shui Chen's analysis is right, but Zhu, Feng and others are afraid this time they are killing themselves. Hua Kai said at this time. According to Shui Chen's analysis, Zhu, Feng, Gongsun and other aristocratic families should have played a good game this time, but why did Hua Kai say that they were seeking their own death? Shui Chen is dull, please let the family master tell me. Shui Chen heard Hua Kai say this, saying that he did not know where the three families were wrong. As the third largest family in the Central Plains, how can Yan be not aware of the attitudes of various families in the country? In the past, letting the families trade with Donghu was also for the development of the country, but the Central Plains war is coming. The plan to focus on the Central Plains, now that Zhu, Feng and other aristocratic families have jumped out, how can King Yan fail to think about it? One of the main reasons why the Yan family handed Jialiu County to Qi State was that they did not want to have friction with Zhao State, Zhongshan State, Linhu and other countries. Now I help them guard the Northwest Gate. They can put all their minds on the Northeast Great Wall area. In less than 2 years, the country of Yan will be able to unify the domestic thoughts. At that time, the country of Yan will be beyond everyone's imagination. Hua Kai said. Everyone listened quietly. There were many families in the Yan family, and many of them were only ruled by the Yan family in name. If the Yan family can command all the forces in the country, perhaps the strength is no worse than that of Qin and Chu. In this way, the stronger we are, the happier the Yan family will be. Then, our Jialiu County was raided by King Donghu this time, and 300,000 troops came to be killed. The Yan State Council will not send masters to support it. After all, in case we fail, it will have a great impact on the Yan family. Hua Xing said at this time. At the time when Yan State handed Jialiu County to Qi State, the two countries may have already determined the responsibilities of both sides. Qi State is now the masters of all the families. If we Jialiu County fail, they will certainly help each other, but the speed should not be too high. Hurry up, we are the pawns that Qi has placed in Baoyuguan against Donghu. Hua Kai said that everyone here was in deep thought. It turned out that the Hua family seemed to be prosperous in Jialiu County. After all, it was just a pawn that consumed Donghu's strength for the two big countries. Many people couldn't help but sigh when they heard it. Everyone doesn't have to be upset. There is nothing wrong with making chess pieces. At the very least, our situation is much better than before in Guangxian. The family of Qian and Yan will not offend us easily now, and even many times they have to help us grow our strength. This is the reason why we have never stopped buying wood, stone and other materials in the two countries in the past 2 years. If we block the king of Donghu from the Leopard Jade Pass this time, then the Hua family will naturally get the status and benefits that they deserve. Qi and Yan must recognize the status of the Hua family in the northern part of the Central Plains, and the Hua family can be considered as sitting here. Qualifications for the player's position. Quote. Hua Kai explained patiently that the ascension of Wahia's strength was too fast, and many things at the national level were still too little known to everyone. Hearing what Hua Kai said, everyone had a clear understanding of the current situation of Wahia. A big battle is inevitable. Although the Azure Dragon Core is strong, it cannot act rashly without a way to deal with the opponent's foundation building environment. The teams that can compete with the Azure Dragon Core, except Donghu Wangqi, at least there are more than 2,000 elites. If we are entangled and unable to escape, the 300,000 army can eat all the Azure Dragon Legion. Uncle Wu, our final decisive battle will inevitably be at Leopard Jade Pass. King Donghu's battle will not leave the Azure Dragon army with a chance for a sneak attack. You just need to keep an eye on the opponent. When Donghu army starts to attack the city, you will look for opportunities. Hua Kai said to Hua Zichen. Hua Zichen nodded. This time the Azure Dragon Legion lost nearly 100 troops, but it killed less than 1,000 Donghu army. This is unimaginable for the well-equipped Azure Dragon Legion. Now that Hua Kai said so, they also knew their future tasks, and all success or failure would have to wait until the Leopard Jade Pass. Donghu army was much more careful than everyone in the Hua family expected. It took them more than half a month to arrive at Baoyu Pass. The tens of thousands of acres of Donghu Daying Donghu has divided more than 300,000 troops into more than 10 areas. In each area, various horse pits, horse piles, watch towers, arrow towers, etc. are complete. If the Azure Dragon Core dares to enter easily, it will inevitably get stuck in it. Hua Kai stood at the Baoyuguan, watching that there were only more than 200 soldiers defending the Baoyuguan. After 2 years of establishment of the White Tiger Army, the official members are now above the Kaiyuan level. 200 of them are scattered on the 500-meter wide barrier wall. This is after a long period of exploration and discussion. The early stage of the city defense is the most suitable. The number of defenders. Hua Kai doesn't know how to defend the Leopard Yuguan. The White Tiger Corps has always been studying how to defend the Leopard. It must have its own defensive set. Making more noises will only disrupt the opponent's layout. His goal is only Donghu King. Huakai waited for 2 days at the Leopard Jade Pass. The Azure Dragon Corps has been staying 5 miles north of Donghudaing. There are no gaps in the layout of the other side's large camp. Even if they are riding a magic horse, they dare not rush into the resistance camp. You can only wait and see quietly from a distance, waiting for the East Hu army to attack the city, and then see for yourself whether you can find a chance to attack. The East Hu army did not attack the Baoyuguan for a week. The Baoyuguan put all the main defensive forces on the second wave of support from the city wall, so most of the White Tiger regiments were on standby in the barracks, and only the minimum amount of training was arranged every day. State. On the 8th day, time had entered July. Huakai was sitting in the main house of the general's mansion. He was immersed in the virtual space. The second chapter of Journey to the West was finally completed, but it is not the time to write the second chapter. 2 Jixia Shuigong novel masters took hundreds of disciples to see outside the general's mansion. After they learned that Huakai was promoted to the novelist giant, they took their disciples to Jialiu County and chased them all the way to Leopard Yuguan. Huakai wanted to meet these 2 novelists, but suddenly heard the drumming outside Guan. He hurriedly walked to the wall outside Guan, but saw that the battle on the wall had begun. There were only 200 people on the Guanqiang, and tens of thousands of people outside Guanqiang carried hundreds of ladders and began to climb upwards, but the entire Leopard Yuguan wall was only 500 meters wide. Donghu slave soldiers climbed the Guanqiang like ants, but they were few people can climb to the top of the wall. The White Tiger Corps used a special putter to knock down the ladder, and few slave soldiers can climb the wall. These slaves are actually tentative attacks by the East Hu army. It seems that there are too many people, but it is difficult to put too much pressure on the White Tiger Legion. Huakai heard the shouts of people outside the customs pushing the car to attack the city gate. The White Tiger Legion A squadron leader hurriedly called. Hundreds of slave soldiers climbed onto the city wall holding stones. Soon there was a shout from outside the gate. A stone the size of a human head fell inside the city wall, and Huakai knew that it was the Donghu army outside the city using a catapult to attack the city. The White Tiger Corps support troops are close to the inner side of the city wall. The catapult cannot attack here. The defenders on the city wall are calm when they see the catapult. They should push the ladder and use the spear to stab them when they see the enemy is about to board the wall. All of this has been trained by the White Tiger Corps countless times before. A huge boulder hit a defensive soldier on the wall, and the soldier's breastbone was sunken all of a sudden, and it was obvious that he could not survive lying on the ground. Several soldiers next to him were also smashed and injured by the boulder. At this time, a small captain led 20 soldiers to bend over to replenish them. 10 slave soldiers went up to the city wall to lift all the wounded down, and there was another stone thrown on the road. The car attacked and splattered, and the slave soldiers helped down the injured comrades. They entered the gate of the city defensive warehouse in Guanay to treat the wounded. The battle lasted for more than 2 hours. The support team replaced the first group of defenders on the wall with 200 people in turn. The second group of defenders in the barracks added another 200 to the first group of support teams, keeping the support team at 500 people around. Huakai also saw that the other side could not pose any threat to Baoyuguan without sending elites and masters. This kind of temptation did not make any sense to the elite White Tiger army. Waiting until the afternoon, Donghu army seemed dissatisfied with the result of today's siege, began to intersperse some elite soldiers among the slave soldiers. 60%. Chapter 340. The dispatch of a small number of elites by Donghu did cause some trouble to the White Tiger Corps, but it was only trouble. And Chi training realm Donghu elite blocked the spear stabbed by the White Tiger Legion, but his body could not help but fell backwards. He saw that he was only more than 2 meters away from the wall, and he roared into the air and jumped to the top of the wall. The defensive soldier saw here hurriedly called for the support of his companions. The team leader behind him was an aerodynamic late stage, and he hurriedly raised his gun to kill the aura. The Donghu aerospace had not yet approached the city wall with 3 long spears. At the same time, when he stabbed, his true chi condensed on a long knife to kill a soldier, but before he leapt to the wall, he was hit by a few long spear thrusts. True chi produced a slight cracking sound around him. The chi training realm had no inertia to move on, and fell from the more than 10-meter high city wall. The ready support team hurriedly sent a squadron of hundreds of elite soldiers to support them. These soldiers were all above the aerodynamic strength. They came to the wall and quickly drove the enemy off, and did not give the opponent more chances to board the wall. In the evening, the drums of the retreat of the East Hu army sounded, and the East Hu army retreated like a tide. Today's defense of the city ended. Hua Kai went to the city defense war room and saw that Yu Jun was doing today's battle statistics here while arranging slave soldiers to deal with corpses outside the city. If these corpses are not handled properly this season, it is likely to cause a plague. How is the damage of the White Tiger Corps today? Hua Kai asked. The White Tiger Corps killed 17 people and injured 54 people, of which 6 were seriously injured. The slave soldiers killed 82 people and injured 244 people. As long as the opponent did not send a large number of Shantian shots, the pressure on the city defense would not be too great. Yu Jun relaxed, said. Then what if the enemy sends a large number of Shantian territory to shoot? How will the White Tiger Corps respond? Hua Kai couldn't help asking, seeing Yu Jun's tone. Yu Jun glanced at Hua Kai. There was only one in the White Tiger Legion in the Shantian realm, and there were only more than 30 people in the Chi training realm. According to normal methods, he would definitely not be able to resist the opponent's attack. Leopard Jade Pass has 13,000 slave soldiers. If they dare to use the Shantian realm as the core of the attack, these 10,000 slave soldiers will fill the city wall, and the Leopard Jade Pass will reveal its stings. Yu Jun is indifferent, said. Even if 10 Shantian people break into the Leopard Jade Pass, how useful will they be in the face of tens of thousands of people in the pass? They want to kill the slave soldiers. As long as the Shantian realm is not afraid of being eroded by karma, the White Tiger Legion and the Reserve Corps will try their best to stop the enemy's subsequent soldiers. This is the White Tiger Legion's way to defeat the strong. If Donghu army dared to do this and used all the elites to attack the Leopard Yuguan Wall, how could the Azure Dragon Legion outside the city miss such an opportunity? Hua Kai waited for the other party's Shantian realm to be sent to the door in the Leopard Jade Pass. It's not that Hua Kai doesn't understand the truth about being kind and not in charge, but he couldn't accept it when Yu Jun said so easily how to deal with Donghu's elite attack. For the next 10 days or so, the East Hu army launched attacks on time every morning. As the attack intensity of the opponent increased, the White Tiger army had more than 500 casualties. Yu Jun has tried his best to send reserve regiments, militias, and slaves on the front line to defend. In the past few days, there were more than 4,000 casualties among slave soldiers in Baoyuguan, and more than 1,000 casualties among militiamen. The casualties of the Donghu army are high. According to Yu Jun's statistics, the Donghu army has dropped at least 30,000 corpses outside the Baoyuguan Pass. The Azure Dragon army is also trying to harass the other side when it sends its elite siege. In the back line, this also caused a lot of damage to the opponent. Despite this, King Donghu hasn't shown up yet. He seems to be waiting for the defenders in the Leopard Jade Pass to be slowly consumed, and he seems to be detecting the reality of the Leopard Jade Pass. Hua Kai came to the Baoyuguan City Defense Command in the early morning and saw Yu Jun waiting for him there. Yesterday they discussed with Hua Zichen about the possible means of the East Hu army. Some people began to suspect that King East Hu might not be in the army. After not showing up for such a long time, the number of Shantian Realm Masters attacks is one of the few, and it seems that the opponent does not intend to end the battle easily. If King Donghu leads a large number of Shantian realms to the border of Yan State, he is only intending to stabilize the Hua family, then as long as Hua Kai takes action, the Azure Dragon Legion will have a great chance of winning by a frontal assault, and the Hua family will be able to win in a single battle. 300,000 troops of Donghu. However, if the Donghu King and Shantian high-level combat power in the East Hu army are both present, the Hua family may suffer a big loss. Although Hua Kai is not afraid of the foundation building, he has not yet succeeded in the foundation building. He has not really played against the foundation building, and he cannot fully guarantee that he can win each other. Afterwards, Hua Kai could only maintain the status quo. First, wait for the news from the Yan State. Regardless of whether King Donghu will show up on the border of the Yan State, the Hua family is invincible as long as it maintains the status quo. Patriarch, today the investigators checked the position of the Donghu siege army. The elites of Donghu are divided into the front and rear armies. Perhaps they are really going to fight us desperately, Yu Jun said to Hua Kai. Regardless of whether the opponent is just for us to see, Leopard Yuguan must be guarded carefully. Send 20,000 Hai Liucheng slave soldiers to enter the barrier first. If the opponent is really attacking, we must be prepared. I always think that King Donghu will not going to Yan country, he is also afraid of meeting King Yan. Hua Kai said. 20,000 Hai Liucheng militiamen and 50,000 slave soldiers have been waiting for half a month on the south side of Baoyuguan. Now, in order to prevent the sudden full attack of the other side, Hua Kai must make arrangements early. Because he knew that if King Donghu had taken the Leopard Jade Pass, the most effective way was to make a sudden attack and led Donghu elites to quickly take down the city wall. As long as they win the city wall, they will have a chance to win the Leopard Jade Pass. Sure enough, today the Donghu siege soldiers came to the wall faster than before. It only took more than 10 minutes for the defense of the wall to be broken. The White Tiger Corps support team hurriedly met and pressed the opponent down the wall. Today, the opponent's offensive is very aggressive. Among them, the proportion of aerodynamics and even auras is very high. At noon, the White Tiger Corps had sent 3 teams of 200 men to defend. The walls were full of the bodies of soldiers from both sides. Suddenly Hua Kai felt a chaos on the wall. A Shantian state quietly climbed onto the wall and killed him all at once. More than a dozen soldiers from the White Tiger Corps occupied a 5-meter wide wall. Behind the protector, Donghu soldiers continued to climb the wall. More than a dozen members of the White Tiger Corps tried to stop them, but they were unable to drive them off the wall, but hurt a lot of people. When Yu Jun saw this ascending the city wall, he brought dozens of White Tiger legions to the opponent's breakthrough. The opponent's soldiers were constantly squeezed to the side of the city wall and then squeezed down, and there were screams at the foot of the city wall. The Shantian realm watched as the soldiers behind him were all driven off. He fought with many masters in the White Tiger Legion and was injured by Yu Jun. He turned his head and jumped off the wall. The crisis of the city wall was lifted. This time, the White Tiger Corps lost nearly 100 people, but the Donghu army lost more than 300 elites. Unless a large number of Shantian realms attacked under the wall of Baoyuguan at the same time, it would be difficult to break the wall. The East Hu's elite continued to attack. The White Tiger Corps moved all the corpses off the wall. Some soldiers were replaced by the support team after fighting for too long. The opponent tried several times to take the lead in attacking the city in the Shantian realm, but ultimately failed to see results. It seemed that all the whole cards of the White Tiger Legion had been detected, and by the next day, the opponent still sent elites to continue the siege. Among them, the number of Shantian realms increased. This time the opposing team sent 5 Shantian fighters to choose the breakthrough from 5 different positions on the wall. The White Tiger Corps responded promptly and the soldiers resisted desperately. However, there were 2 Shantian breakthrough defenders on the wall, and a large number of enemy soldiers came from the breakthrough. Climbing the city wall, the whole city wall looks precarious. The reserve team is ready to enter the strangulation platform. Yu Jun was not anxious seeing the danger of the city wall, and commanded calmly. At this time, 500 reserve soldiers quickly entered a special small gate on the city wall, and soon there was a scream from outside the city wall. I saw numerous small holes suddenly appeared outside the Leopard Yuguan, a 3-meter-long spear stabbed from the small hole, and the climbing Donghu soldiers were stabbed and fell from the ladder, and the crowd fell on the underground escalator. Injured countless. The soldiers of Donghu Dengcheng suddenly created a vacuum. The Donghu soldiers who boarded the city wall suddenly had no follow-up personnel. Yu Jun led 500 White Tiger soldiers to the city wall. After a while, these soldiers who boarded the wall were killed. Some Donghu soldiers who saw that they were going to be alone again chose to jump off the city wall. Several Donghu Shantian soldiers were besieged and died. Others saw that this wave of offensive had failed and jumped off the city wall and fled. Leopard Yuguan closed the arrow tower. The archers of the White Tiger Regiment did not know how many bows and arrows were shot. Although they were not many, they caused great damage to the Donghu slave soldiers. Wait until the Donghu soldiers on the Leopard Yuguan wall were cleaned up. Baoyuguan soldiers knocked down all the opponent's ladders, and there was a cry of victory on the wall. Hua Kai felt relieved when he saw this place. He was ready to take action just now, but Yu Jun told himself to wait. The White Tiger Corps is one of the 4 major regiments in Tokaryu County. All soldiers are professional soldiers. They conduct various military trainings every day. They have their own set of methods to deal with any crisis. Closing the wall just now seemed dangerous. The White Tiger Corps had no more than 100 casualties, but the slave soldiers died more. The Donghu army suffered more than 2,000 casualties, and most of them belonged to elite troops. Entering mid-June, the East Hu army also saw that the dispatched elites would also find it difficult to directly win the Leopard Yuguan, but their own casualties would be high. They also know that the only way to break through the Leopard Yuguan is to weaken the defensive force of the Leopard Yuguan, but occasionally send 1 or 2 Shantians to the city wall to carry out raids on the White Tiger Corps soldiers and create opportunities for subsequent slaves to climb the city. They would stay at the city wall, so that the East Hu army was blocked from outside the Baoyu Pass and was unable to make an inch. The Hua family and the East Hu army seemed to have fallen into a war of attrition. Army seemed to have fallen into a war of attrition. Army seemed to have fallen into a war of attrition.